ridiculous. I'm trying to think of the best way to be able to explain it. The graffiti on the wall is oddly relatable. Makes me feel like one of my friends could have made this game. And I think that has something to do with the game's popularity. Because the inside jokes, the naming of the different products that you can put into stuff, the naming of the product that comes out in the end. I got the whole block hooked on Gorilla Smeg. It's like fucking hilarious, dude. And that's endearing. You want to see that. You see yourself in the game, and you feel like you can relate to the person who made it. I don't feel that way with a lot of games, and I haven't for a long time. And I think that's an incredibly important connection to be able to make. It's one of the intangibles of game design, where you feel like your humor, imagination, your interests are shared by the people that made it. You feel vindicated in that. Like you have something in common. And it's called being in touch with your audience. And I think just about anybody could say that this industry has been way out of touch with its audience for a long time. And I've played a lot of games since starting this channel, and at this point, I'm starting to feel like these game developers live in an alternate universe. Nothing feels relatable to me. Everything has to be a tangent to what's going on in the real world. Everything has to have a deeper message. Not everything needs to be like that. It's just not necessary. $20. Another $20 game goes on to sell millions of copies, making a solo developer a millionaire overnight. You know, when this game released and it immediately started to find some popularity, the developer went and put the game on sale. Who does that? Somebody that wants to make money. Somebody that knows what you need to do.
Yep. I like that.
Make a fun game.
Yep. Make hay while the
People
sun
buy
is shining.
Crazy concept, I know. This isn't rocket science. How many times have I seen these developers that are basically trying to learn astrology to figure out what players want? Maybe if we read their horoscopes. Then you have a game that makes it where you can put horse glaze and chili powder into something to set somebody's hair on fire and give them a long face. Monkey brain like. Me like game. Me give money. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. But that scares these C-suite executives because they don't understand the popularity, the virality, the relatability of these games because they can't reproduce it. They can't crack the code on this.
Fun. Yeah, like they don't know what fun is.
Because of that, their only answer is to suppress it. It's actually kind of insane how often we're seeing some of these viral indie hits run straight into some form of cold corporate or bureaucratic resistance. Whether it's from platform policies, rating boards, legal ambiguity, or flat-out attempts to suppress or discredit them. There is a growing pattern here. A developer releases something fresh and unexpected, it takes off, and suddenly they're in the crosshairs. Not because they did anything wrong, but because they succeeded outside of the system. When you take a moment to look at the legal and bureaucratic minefield that these indie developers have to tiptoe around,
but Power will jack Nintendo,
it's genuinely surprising that we ever see anything original at all. The modern gaming landscape isn't built to encourage creativity. It's structured to protect existing power, intellectual property, and investor interests. In some ways, the system is designed to suffocate innovation unless it's coming from an approved source. I mean, Balatro got slammed by ratings boards for supposedly promoting gambling just because it used poker hands and a scoring system despite no real gambling mechanics being in the game whatsoever. Palworld came under fire for copying Pokemon, even though the gameplay is wildly different because Nintendo's patent net is so wide that even breathing now seems like it's lawsuit worthy. I mean, while in litigation with Pocket Pair, Nintendo is still trying to file new patents to retroactively catch them on. It's reaching a point where making a game that even feels familiar or is using visual shorthand that players understand can get you pulled from storefronts and buried in lawsuits. Now we have Schedule 1 going through the same mess, originally reported on by Andrew Heighton of Insider Gaming in an article titled Schedule 1 being investigated for IP copyright infringement claims. They write, evidence on the investigation surfaced on a website, Pab Business, featuring a document entitled Movie Games Essay 17-2025, Decision to Commence Investigation Against the Creators of Schedule 1 Production for claims regarding the infringement of the issuer's IP and related to committing an act of unfair competition against it. Movie Games SA has its own series of drug dealing games, Drug Dealer Simulator 1 and Drug Dealer Simulator 2. While the name is more overt than its goal, both titles have attracted thousands of players respectively. The legal document mentions potential infringement of the issuer's intellectual property rights and activities that bear characteristics of unfair competition have been identified. Ergo, Schedule 1 is too similar to the Drug Dealer Simulator series. Proceedings began as soon as Schedule 1 released on March 24th and featured a comparative analysis of the IP, which includes Drug Dealer Simulator and Drug Dealer Simulator 2 and the Schedule 1 project. The investigation is strongly looking into elements of the game's plot, mechanics, as well as UI user interface. It finishes by saying, the issuer will immediately inform about further actions related to the pursuit of claims regarding the infringement of the issuer's IP and the act of unfair competition in subsequent current reports. Yeah, I'm gonna take a wild guess here and say the unfair competition they're referring to is the part where Drug Dealer Simulator 1 and 2 combined couldn't even crack 20,000 players, while Schedule 1 is one of the most talked about and played games on Steam right now. At least with Nintendo and Palworld, you could kind of see where that lawsuit was coming from. The creature designs, the ball throwing mechanics, they were all surface level elements that were echoing Pokemon. Even with Temtem, they got out of the way of Nintendo.
But this game isn't doing that.
Sure, they were using cards instead of balls, but
this game isn't doing that.
This investigation against Schedule 1 feels completely out of pocket. It's not just a stretch, it's embrassing that they're even trying. I've taken the time to check it out, and
Palworld felt like embarrassingly derivative, just like Craftopia.
Crafting, the progression loops, the interface, the tone, it's all completely different. To be honest, Ubisoft has a stronger claim against them ripping off a Far Cry than they do against Schedule 1. In their games, you start off as a low-level pusher working for somebody else, then slowly build out your own operation. It leans way harder into weighing product, micromanaging dead drops, dodging rival gangs, and ferrying shipments across different islands. It's less of a game and more of a chore simulator. Sure, they both have similar themes, but if having drugs as your premise is going to be the trigger for legal action, by that logic, are they going to go after Breaking Bad next? After news of the investigation broke,
kind of want to play Far Cry 6 just because I've played Far Cry 1, 2, 3, Primal Instincts, beaten them all, got the achievements on 360, Primal Instincts and Predator, and I've beaten every Far Cry game. I played Far Cry 3, but I didn't beat it, and I haven't played Far Cry 4. I haven't played Far Cry 5, and I don't think I think I played 5, but for like a few minutes, but yeah, I didn't like it that much. 6 is the one I'm interested in. But I don't know, because I don't know, it's not really my game anymore, but those can be fun. They can be really immersive, those games. And I wish Ubisoft hadn't done it on their store. I wish they had just released to Steam like a normal goddamn video game company. If I have to do their fucking store, I won't do it. I won't touch that fucking store.
Ran with headlines saying that Schedule 1 was facing an active lawsuit. The internet then did what it does best. Players flooded Drug Dealer Simulator 1 and 2 with negative reviews, dragging the game into a storm that they weren't ready for. In response to this, the developers posted a statement on Steam clarifying the situation. To paraphrase,
why are you killing my leeches?
There is no lawsuit, that they're not trying to shut down Schedule 1, and the investigation was only launched after repeated comparisons between the two games raised concerns. Since Movie Games SA is a publicly traded company, they claim that they are legally obligated to investigate potential infringement and disclose it through proper stock market channels, ESPI. The media then picked it up from there, and the story spiraled out of control. They also then clarified, saying that the developer of Drug Dealer Simulator, Byte Runners, isn't involved at all. It's strictly a publisher-level decision. The post then closes with them insisting that there is no bad blood and that they even sent Schedule 1's developer best wishes before the game blew up. But whether it's legal obligation or damage control, it's clear that this isn't the kind of attention that they were expecting. And this is where things get really weird for me, because there was a second response, and this time it was from the actual developers at Byte Runners, where I think the first response was actually written by their publisher, and it's kind of a plot twist. In a statement that they posted on Twitter, Rafal, the CEO and developer of the Drug Dealer Simulator series, basically said, "We had no idea that this was happening." According to him, the development team wasn't informed of the investigation at all, and they only found out when the story blew up online, claiming that they were just as blindsided as everyone else. He writes, "In light of the recent Movie Games versus Schedule 1 legal investigation controversy, I would like to state that we, Byte Runners, the development studio behind Drug Dealer Simulator series, do not have any ill intentions towards neither Schedule 1, TVGS, or the game community. Actions taken by our publisher, Movie Games SA, are a part of an internal policy and business interest, which we have no influence over. We were not informed of their plans and were also surprised by this course of action. We are currently in talks with Movie Games on this matter. For now, we do not want to publicly neither condone nor approve of the actions before these talks have come to any conclusions." I think basically this dude is saying we don't know if it's good or bad for us yet, so we need to wait to figure it out. We would like to ask everyone on both DDS and Schedule 1 communities to be patient and not spread unnecessary negativity or misinformation. We congratulate the success of Schedule 1 to TVGS and would like every gamer to enjoy and support any game they choose. Our main focus as the dev team is improving the DDS IP, which also includes learning on the Schedule 1 massive success and its and
why did the elemental get on me? I didn't even strike it.
Your understanding. The tone here couldn't be any more different from the original Steam post, where the publisher had framed the investigation as a necessary legal procedure. The developer comes off as almost embarrassed by the entire thing.
Fucking guy like whispered me in the middle of that and totally distracted me like he was trying to get me fucking MPK'd. He came to my camp, you took my mobs, and then you whispered me in the middle of it and distracted me and got me killed. I was till you distracted me. God damn it.
Then they go out of their way to distance themselves from the publisher's actions, saying that they don't condone or approve of anything yet? What does that even mean? And now they're just waiting for internal talks? I'm just going to go with my gut here and say they didn't expect the backlash to be this bad. There is no chance, there is no way that you are going to convince me that your publisher, without any communication, suddenly launched a legal investigation on your behalf using your game as a basis without you knowing anything about it. That is not how legal prep works. To even begin an investigation like this, you need access to build files, source assets, system documentation, something from the development team to be able to make the comparisons necessary for a legitimate IP case. So either you were involved and now you're walking it back, or your publisher went rogue and dragged you into a legal case without any warning and snuck into your office and stole the files. Neither one of those look very good. And even if for whatever reason Byte Runners wasn't involved in this decision, I'm sorry, this is what comes with the territory when you sign up with a publisher. Tyler didn't. He developed and published Schedule 1 himself. Every decision he makes, every success or controversy, it's all on him. But once you hand over the reins to a publisher, you are also signing up for all of their baggage, the legal departments, the investor meetings, the risk management, the corporate damage control. You don't get to opt out when it gets uncomfortable. And the claim that the investigation was already in motion before the game took off, total bullshit. The investigation was formally initiated on April 3rd. Schedule 1 launched on March 24th, and by the 30th, it had already hit over 400,000 concurrent players. This wasn't some long-planned legal strategy. Otherwise, why would you distracted me? Congratulations email. It was a knee-jerk response to getting blown out of the water. I don't know about you guys, but from where I'm sitting, this looks like a textbook case of a publisher, and more likely their board of directors and shareholders panicking over the fact that the game that they backed didn't deliver, while a solo developer just ate their lunch in broad daylight. So now they're trying to claw back some relevance and revenue through legal pressure instead of actually trying to make games that people want to play. It's all retaliatory, it's all bitter, and it reeks of a system that sees creativity as not something to nurture, but something to control. Now, I actually posted this in a response on Twitter to the Byte Runner CEO's letter to the players, but I basically said, yeah, this must suck to be completely powerless in this situation, but this is exactly what you signed up for. And honestly, the more that I think about it, this probably explains why so many of these self-published indie games are blowing up, while these smaller studios tied to these tiny publishers are scraping by. Creative freedom, no bureaucracy, no boardroom full of guys in suits that are second-guessing your every move, just a developer and an idea. And honestly, that's probably the conversation that we really need to be having here, because this isn't just about one game or one legal spat. There needs to be a bigger push towards independence in video game development. Too many of these publishers aren't interested in creating anything. They don't build worlds, they don't design mechanics, they don't tell stories. What they do is manage, and in that management, they influence the industry more than they contribute to it. Their primary goal isn't to support creativity, it's to control outcomes. They want to shape trends, shape players, shape spending habits. And when they fund something, that comes with strings attached, strings that always pull in the direction of risk aversion or maximizing profits. Sure, publishers offer funding and infrastructure, they offer visibility, marketing pipelines, access to networks, but it comes at the cost of freedom, of voice, of innovation. How many times have we heard stories about developers that were pressured into adding in microtransactions that they didn't want to put into their game? Or how many times have we heard about games that were forced to pivot towards live service even when that didn't fit their vision? These decisions rarely come from the development team themselves. They come from people upstairs, people staring at spreadsheets, not playtests, people who see creativity as a variable that needs to be managed, not a driving force. From my perspective, in many ways, publishers have become the industrialists of this medium. They're more concerned with scalability and litigation than actually making games themselves. They commodify everything about the creative process. They strip out the rough edges, the weird ideas, the risk, and replace them with something that fits into their monetization model of the moment. And then they sit back wondering why none of these games are resonating, why they're failing to meet their sales targets. It's not the players that are the problem. It's not the developers that are the problem. It's the layer that's in between.
It is the developers who are the problem.
Systemize everything that's not meant to be a system.
They don't know what fun
place.
is.
And the more games that we see, like Schedule 1, that are succeeding without them, the more obvious that becomes. You know, I think a lot of these publishers and executives that are running these companies are the biggest barrier to creativity and success for the vast majority of these developers. They don't outright build anything themselves. They just go out of their way to try to control it or squash it if it threatens their margins in any way. And that sucks. Not just for us, the players, but also for the people that are making these games. I mean, like, patent laws in general in the video game ecosystem just don't make any sense whatsoever. All these layers of red tape for something that just shouldn't be there in the first place. Even if a developer isn't trying to copy something, they're just gonna ignore it or try not to be anything like it just out of the implicit threat that comes from legal action. They just stay away from it. That's why we sit back and wonder why we haven't seen a game like this again, or that, or whatever it might be. You know, in theory, publishers are supposed to be there to be able to make things easier for developers. They're supposed to be able to take care of all the noise, and then developers just focus on doing what they do best, making video games, and that's about it. But the minute that you start handing over all of that power, all of a sudden you find out that you don't really get to make a whole lot of decisions on your own anymore. That's what's happened to some of these people. When you get in bed with these guys, this is the end result of that. They go out and attack your competition. How does that feel? I can't imagine that feels very good. These guys are creatives. They want to make games. They want other people to be inspired by their work and make games of their own. And now you have to sit back and watch what happens. I'm sorry, man, but you're not innocent in that. And, you know, we feel the effects of it, too, without a doubt. We still get some great games, but at the exact same time, I mean, I've had a really weird feeling that things have just kind of felt samey for a really long time. Very samey, very safe in a lot of cases. And I think that comes from the fact that, you know, if any game tries to make a game like Pokemon, they're going to get scared away or they're going to get sued into oblivion. So many mechanics. I mean, look at the way that Nintendo has litigated and patented just about everything. Sony's been doing the same thing. Look at WB Games and the Nemesis system. Something that would revolutionize.
Why do you keep talking about the Nemesis system?
Never see it.
I don't like the Nemesis system. Fuck off.
There's such a poison to this industry. It's insane. And you look around and notice almost every single one of these breakout hits have always been self-published. And in some cases where these developers did go through a publisher, the only reason they did that was to be able to protect their identity. There needs to be more options for that. That needs to be nurtured and taken care of. There needs to be more developers that are making games themselves, publishing games themselves, and there needs to be an easier way for these guys to get onto platforms without the need of a publisher. There's already ways for them. They don't even need publishers anymore. Sure, for like legal and patent and stuff like that, hire a lawyer, man. Why are you handing away all of your profit, all of your control to a bunch of people that don't want to have anything to do with the creative process whatsoever? It just doesn't make any sense. You can promote your games online with no problem. Balatro had next to no marketing whatsoever. Schedule 1 had next to no marketing whatsoever. Valheim had no marketing whatsoever. There's so many more examples that I could give of games that never had an ad or a commercial or anything like that. They were just on Steam. People played it. People liked it. Spread by word of mouth. Fair price, good game. People go buy it. As far as it needs to go. That's what needs to happen. We need more of it. And I want that to be a big focus. I think Steam is the leader in that. Steam's definitely the one that's been pushing and helping a lot of these indie developers be able to find their legs in the industry. And I appreciate that. I think everybody does. There's a lot of games that we would have never had if it wasn't for Steam. So, thank God for Gavin. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did enjoy the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, share the video to your friends, share it on social media, come watch me on Twitch, come join the Discord, come hang out. Stay cool, stay righteous, stay safe. I'll catch you in the next one.
Approaching Stargate.
Today we're talking about a bank that won't let you withdraw your money. A bank where almost $100 million has vanished. Or has it? Because I've traced some of the missing funds, and I think some people are hiding the truth. Even worse, our regulators and safeguards may have failed us. Let me show you what I mean. Today we're talking to a bunch of people who found their money frozen in their bank last year. 6 months later, they started getting paid out, but some of the money is missing. Welcome to the Discord Diner. All right, let's start with the basics. What is your name and how much money did you have on your savings app?
Well, my name is Colin. My savings was
I don't want to watch this.
$53,105.95.
Jesus Christ, that's so much
are you
money.
getting back?
Not
How the fuck did you save up 50 grand in this economy, you silly goose? Must be
Autopilot
nice.
jumping.
Must be nice. What happens when he ignores court orders? Yeah, what happens when he ignores court orders? The end of Sam Bam back my free. What is server
Moving
blight?
to Stargate. Warp drive active.
Pyromine. I haven't seen Pyrocynical in a while.
Team Fortress 2 is a really good game. Like, a really good game.
Approaching Stargate.
I'm very reactive to this, though. I don't like, oh god. Oh god, just run, I gotta get out of here.
This sucks. Hurry up.
Content out there. Kit.
What is this?
Like, for example, Overwatch 2, for all 3 people that are still playing that game. And, of course, Marvel Rivals. And yet, to this day, you still see new fan-made content for TF2 all the time. Yep, there is definitely some fan
Autopilot
content out
jumping.
there.
Oh, fuck. Oh.
And today, I want to talk about a very special piece of this ongoing fandom surrounding what many consider to be a dead game. And, you know, not dead just because it went free to play and invited the horde of pawns. I'm talking about how no server in Team Fortress 2 is safe, especially the ones that are completely empty. Before we can jump into the madness that is the new server blight story, I want to zoom in a little closer on why something like this is dropping in late 2024, you know, long after the player base of TF2 has dwindled considerably. Don't get me wrong, the numbers TF2 does still manage to pull are really impressive, but how does it do it? What's so enthralling about this game that it's managed to capture its audience some
Damage
18
numbers.
years after its release? Why is the fan story centering on such a cartoony game so dark and gruesome? Look, stick with me here, because I promise the answer to all of these questions is going to wrap into how I see the server blight, both in terms of story and what I think are some of its clear inspirations. We also have some absolutely insane merch to go along with this series. You know, if you ever wanted to feel like you were trapped in a video game, alone, with something hunting you, we have 2 designs that can be bought as either a poster or a t-shirt. They're incredibly limited, and buying one directly helps me to be able to make videos like this instead of the other channel. Now, if you do purchase one, you'll probably be bullied because you're wearing YouTuber merch, which, to be fair, is deserved. If you want to watch more content that isn't slop, I also have a podcast on the side where I scream with a bunch of people inside a retirement home.
Listen to the fucking wind. It is breaking through the windows.
Are you sure someone's not just throwing bricks at your window?
You think they're throwing bricks from the fucking ground 300 feet
The
up?
link to that is in the description. Now, it might sound silly to ask something like, what is Team Fortress 2? But for those not in the loop, that's the people that will unironically call Fortnite nostalgic. You might go and look up Team Fortress 2 on Google, only to find Team Fortress 1. See, the thing is, as creative as Team Fortress 2 is, Team Fortress 1 looks nothing alike. That's because Team Fortress was actually a Quake mod and later ported to Quake World. It was so popular even within the Quake community of the mid to late 90s that in 1998, Gabe Newell, the Zeus of PC Gaming sought to hire the developers of the mod just so they could port it to Half-Life 1. This would be a way to show the creative power of the Half-Life development kit. And now look at Valve. They don't even make any games.
Approaching
They just
station.
collect the tax on Steam. That's not all though. This port of QTF or Quake Team Fortress was going to be so expansive that it would be deserving of the title Team Fortress 2, a true successor that stood entirely on its own merits. There was just one thing. Making video games is hard. Really hard. The team wanted TF2 to be more than just a feature update, but there was still the gap to fill in terms of having a functional port of Team Fortress to Half-Life, and thus, Team Fortress Classic was born. It was released on April 1st, 1999, but this port was far from an April Fool's joke. TFC was everything QTF was and more, given the space to be its own thing. Team Fortress Classic looked a lot better than QTF did. At least for the time. But the team would still want a much bigger sequel project. And this is where the, you know the funny meme, not 9 years in development? Get it? Get it? If you understood the reference, you're an old head.
Welcome to Team Fortress 2. After 9 years in development, hopefully it will have been worth
Docking
the wait.
permission requested.
TF2 would
Docking
see many
request
iterations
accepted.
before it became the game that we're familiar with. I do want to go on a little tangent here. I've always thought that Valve is one of the most
Autopilot
interesting companies in
disabled.
the world when they,
Waypoint
used to make games. As a teenager, I would spend countless hours playing on my own because I had no friends through games like Left 4 Dead, listening to the audio devlogs and how they talk about how certain things worked in the world. Like, for example, in the original Left 4 Dead, they would use bodies to actually have visual storytelling without the need for a cutscene.
This covered body is an example of how we tell a story in the levels without using any words or overt storytelling. We wanted to show that there are other people in the world that are survivors like you. We figured most people wouldn't survive very long and you'd come across their bodies. But we needed a way to set these apart from all the dead ragdolls of the common infected. By simply covering a body with a blanket or a sheet, it becomes really obvious that this guy had a buddy, a friend. And when he went down, his friend had compassion and covered him up. This also tells a story about the state of the world, that they wouldn't want to go out and bury the body. They couldn't expose themselves to infected, so they'd have the bodies right there with them, but covered. Sometimes you'll see a covered body right outside a checkpoint, so it's like they were in a safe area and maybe during the night their buddy died from his wounds. So the next morning the other survivors didn't really want the body in there with them, so they dragged it outside. This was the best they could do for the guy.
Back when it was planned to be a direct sequel to QTF, Team Fortress 2 existed as Team Fortress 2 Brotherhood of Arms, and it also had a very realistic art direction. Remember how every single video game that was released in the late 2000s was really gloomy and usually had some kind of like piss filter? Yeah, it was pretty much that. A lot of dev time went into this game to try and release it in 2000, and then typical Valve delaying the game. Later, 2001. But it'd be cancelled before it ever saw the light of day. Yeah, imagine if your game got cancelled and no one ever saw it. Or they just never give a release date, ever. Yeah, that's funny, right? So why did they scrap it? Well, something you might have noticed, just looking at old footage, is how noticeably less distinct the classes feel. The game has issues with making classes feel recognizable, and that's just too big of a problem for a shooter where every class has an entirely different function. Imagine if the sniper and the medic had similar outfits. It'd be really hard to tell them apart. You wouldn't be able to single out a healer, for example, and you'd be screwed over in a match. This is actually something that the developers of Team Fortress 2 were completely aware of, and this lives rent-free in my head, I'm not sure why. There's a developer node you can find in Team Fortress 2, and they specifically say that they wanted every single character to be recognizable just from a silhouette alone.
Characters are the most important piece of art for a multiplayer game, so that is where we spend most of our time. We developed every for player models, prioritizing the information that players needed to be able to read merely by looking at the model. Our hierarchy was this: first, what team they're on; second, what class they're playing; and third, what weapon they're wielding. Team readability was addressed by adopting an overall color palette for each team, picking warm colors for red and cool colors for blue. Class readability was addressed through the character's silhouette. Unique silhouette and animation shapes are more identifiable at far distances and across a broader range of light levels than any amount of other visual detail in the model. Finally, the weapon was highlighted through the textures. The areas of highest contrast, which attract players' eyes, are all focused around the chest area of our character models, right where they hold the weapon. In addition, the subtle gradient from darkness around the character's feet to the bright areas around the chest also helps draw the player's eyes to the weapons.
The original version was too complicated as well. There were elements that just don't exist today, like the idea of the commander, a class that would have a bird's eye view of the map and they'd be able to place structures, provide support, and give possible orders. Basically the equivalent of a Discord mod, but they actually had some kind of power. It was removed due to its passive massive nature, and this was smart, as it's hard to imagine a world where either it was super fun to give orders to people who didn't want to listen to you, or very fun to be the people who don't want to listen to the orders. I mention this in particular because the idea of one person deciding what the major objectives the player should be performing is, you know, pretty alien to games, but also that will be a lot more relevant later. So for now, just file away the idea of a multiplayer game where you take orders from someone. Funnily enough, a commander node similar to this was actually available to a few Battlefield titles like Battlefield 2,
Yeah, 2 was good.
Notoriously, Battlefield 4 and Hardline. And as weird as it looks, this whole concept is really interesting because for the latter titles, you could actually play it using only your tablet or your phone. So you could multitask like how every infant has Roblox on their iPad with a TikTok tab opened on the top right corner. So sometime after TF2 BOA, God, that is a mouthful, no wonder that game died. After that was scrapped, they tried to remedy the readability with Team Fortress 2 Invasion. We really didn't see much of this game in the official terms, but in October of 2003, Valve suffered a major hack that had files for Half-Life 2, which was scheduled for release in the next year, and early builds of Counter-Strike Source and Team Fortress 2. And I don't mean the kind of leaks we get today where it's just like, you know, someone says something on Twitter. I mean, there were full character models from TF2 Invasion.
I had no idea
about how crazy this hack is, and don't worry,
you know, I've never played TF2. I've never played it.
Really know much about TF2 Invasion.
Maybe I should play it. I think I own it.
The entire history of TF2, apart from to, you know, make
it looks fun, but it also looks really, really old.
That people think that Valve are this magical company that
no. They only had like 3 games, and they were good, but they're, you know,
it just shows
they weren't
how many
amazing.
Iterations they had to go through.
A lot of hype went out for Lockstyle or whatever it is, Lockheed, or I forget the name of the new Valve Overwatch shooter, but Valve is trying to compete with Overwatch now, which I don't really understand. Because there's so many. There's like rivals in Overwatch, and in a way, Dota and LoL are in this category too. You know, MOBAs, and even Fortnite kind of in a way, I think, sort of. And it's weird. Like there's so much competition. I don't know why. Wow, but Deadlock is supposed to be a good game, and I believe it because I think Valve can make a good game. But the problem is, I don't think kids want to do what they did 10 years ago any more than I do.
Still, they got the masterpiece that is Team Fortress 2. Well, I say it's a masterpiece. They still have the soldier, you know, absolutely dark water class. All you got to do is look down, press mouse 1. Oh, random crit, common pre-fire. 4 rockets per clip, by the way. Very normal. Also, remember that Far Cry 3 video I did a couple of years ago? Could you imagine if Jason Brody had 4 rockets per clip before having to reload? Yeah, that'd be really fair. So was the 2003 hack
4 rockets per clip?
Was scrapped? Did we know too much about the game before it dropped for it to garner the same excitement? Maybe, but it probably has to do with the intent for it to be a much more complicated game than Quake Team Fortress or Team Fortress Classic. At some point, the scope of the game ballooned. Okay, wrong choice of words. At some point, the scope of the game got to a point of being confusing, and they had to yet again go back to the drawing board. Now, long since the release of the actual real TF2 that everyone still plays today, we've found out more about TF2 through interviews with Gabe Newell and other people who had knowledge of TF2's previous versions. And it's really funny because if you look back on what they were saying, they trashed these games. They absolutely hated them. So all this to say that the version of TF2 we're so familiar with basically didn't start to even come together until 2005. That was through numerous concept arts that have been made public since its release. It's clear that they wanted to make something with the spirit of Team Fortress Classic, but also distinctly recognizable. And again, like I mentioned earlier, this is why the game had such varied silhouettes. You can recognize every single class in the game just from looking at the shape of them. It's funny because when TF2 came out, it was so different from Quake appearance-wise that people thought it was some kind of Looney Tunes class shooter.
No.
But now, looking at most class shooters that exist, they've adopted TF2's format. And when it finally released in 2007, it was a massive hit. It was so successful that a sequel was never made, and the game is now barely getting updated. The rise of Team Fortress 2 horror is a larger topic that we could individually dive into without even analyzing the server blight story. But I want to expand on people's tendency on what they find scary elements in innocent things. One trope that's becoming much more common nowadays is being in a server where you're completely on your own. The same as how people would load up Construct and Gary's mods, and despite the game having absolutely no players, no threats unless they spawn something in or have questionable mods, they will still never, ever go into that dark room because maybe there could be something in there.
The nether.
But again, this subversion of turning something innocent into something scary, this has happened time and time again across a multitude of different genres and formats from both games, TV, and I think when it comes to internet culture, a lot of it can be primarily traced back to sharing creepypastas. Okay, all right, I get it. I say creepypasta, you think of, but Le Ben drowned. Le Sonic with Le Black Eyes. Ooh, so scary. Oh my god, is that Jeff the Killer? And they put Jeff the Killer and Slender Man in the same map, and now they're double teaming me. Now the reason why I'm talking about creepypastas, please stay with me here. I get it, okay? You think of creepypasta, you instantly imagine, oh, it's the scary face of Le Dog. I'm actually looking at the creepypastas now. We've got, oh my god, is that Game End Squidward? People are intimately familiar with the game to the point where a person's favorite class to play may even be their favorite class from a personality angle. Much like how the sniper, like every Australian I've ever met, throws the shot at you and shouts racial slurs. Or how people that play as the scout usually have a hyper-autistic fixation with the popular streamer Germa. Or my personal favorite, the Pyro. If you play as the Pyro, you're either a degenerate or a furry. Well, I basically said the same word twice. This familiarity, this love for what TF2 is precisely why the server blight is so effective. Even if you don't play TF2 through cultural osmosis. Even if you don't play TF2 through cultural osmosis, you probably grow more familiar with it than you'd think. You may know about my incident that never happened, Germa sounding like the Scout, or TF2's funny yet steeply priced hat system. I'm pretty sure there's more people that know about the rampant butt situation in Team Fortress 2 than have actually played the game. But the game at this point is pretty set in stone. The last major update, Jungle Inferno, released in 2017.
Wow, it's been 7 years.
And though it remains a cultural touchstone online, the player base has waned more and more as the game has lost support. Now, we have gotten a new comic, but, you know, it might be a long time before we see anything new for the game itself. And at this point, it's just stacking on top of a game that came out 18 years ago. Most games these days don't even
But it was a good game.
That time. This is the part where I'm meant to make a Concord joke, but I'll do you one better. Meet your maker. This was actually a really fun game where you could invade someone else's base to get their loot and then leave. And simultaneously, you could also make your own base to defend against an attacker. At the time of recording, there's around 10 people playing this game. I think one of the main reasons it died is because no matter how good your base was, jobless sweats would keep brute forcing it until they found a way to beat it. And no, I'm not salty because I lost every single base that I made. The server blight is a direct counter to what is known about Team Fortress 2. There's little to no humor in it. It's a deeply serious story that works within a similar framework to old machinimas. The format is familiar, but the execution isn't. The whole story has a very gruesome, creepy vibe, which plays in direct contrast to Team Fortress 2's cartoony and expressive art style. The absence of players, the music, the way that only one player actually talks in the voice channel. It all feels very out of the ordinary for TF2 fan content, especially the last one, because if you ever spoke in-game in Team Fortress 2, you would get a reply, but it's probably from a bot trying to sell you a dodgy hat. But this story feels too thematically put together to be a totally original story. This is where we back up yet again to talk about a huge moment in internet culture during the 2000s, even into today, creepypastas. First, we need to define such a garbage nonsense word. Seriously, you might already know what it means, but
I don't know what it means. I don't know what it means.
They will have no clue what you're talking about.
I have no idea.
Looking up creepypasta on Google Images.
I have no idea.
Sainsbury's spooky pasta. 400
Yep.
grams. For
there you go.
£1.50.
No, I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah.
The word creepypasta came about in roughly 2007.
4chan term. That's why. I have no
are
idea.
Still going strong today and are so unfunny they have an entire
Approaching
subreddit
Stargate.
dedicated to them. One of the current top posts on the copypasta subreddit at the time of recording is "Does liking boobs make me a lesbian?" And the worst thing is that was probably posted by a straight man. Now, while copypastas were meant to be spammed everywhere in a semi-sarcastic, snide form, creepypastas are copypastas made with the intent to unsettle or scare the reader. The history of creepypastas are a little
Sounds
bit more
horrible.
complex than the word itself, though. Creepy chain emails of the 90s were very similar in format, often spreading urban legends or straight-up misinformation, but often the format was very similar to what would later become creepypastas. Here's one such example. Warning! Keep reading, or you will die, even if you only look at the word warning. Once there was a girl named Clarissa. She was 10 years old, and she lived in a psychiatric hospital because she killed her mother and father. He got so bad that he went to kill all the staff in the hospital so that the government would decide that the best idea was to get rid of it. So they set up a special room to kill her as humanely as possible. But the machine did not work. What they were using went wrong, and she remained seated in agony for hours until she died. Now, every week, the day of his death, he returns with the person who reads this letter. On a Monday night at 12 a.m., he crawls to your room and kills you slowly, cutting you off and watching you bleed to death. Now send this to another 10 images on this site, and he will chase someone who does not. This is not false. Apparently, if you copy and paste this into 10 comments in the next 10 minutes, you will have the best day of your life tomorrow. They will kiss you or invite you to leave. If you break this chain, you will see a little dead girl in your room tonight. Well, it's not exactly master level storytelling, but you know, today the equivalent we get is that really annoying one. Hi, my name is Carmen Winstead. You know the worst thing is, I can't even play the entirety of that one because someone was like petty enough to copy. Now, again, keep in mind, this was the early days of the internet. And despite it reading like a bot that's trying to get your Discord Nitro, at the time, this had people in a grip. The internet was so new, and the thought someone would just lie or make things up, that wasn't a thing. And it still isn't today. You wouldn't lie on the internet, would you? This format of small, scary stories would continue over time, but the earliest solid examples of what we know as creepypastas originate from either 4chan or just entirely independent blogs. One of the foremost examples of this early internet scary story being the infamous This story was told from the perspective of a hobbyist cave digger's personal blog and his trouble with getting into increasingly claustrophobic spaces where he might not be alone. The storyline is amazing and it features some really discomforting pictures, and if you haven't read or listened to a reading of it, you definitely should. As the genre proliferated, a specific sort of creepypasta began to grow in popularity, the video game creepypasta. Ooh, what if you got a haunted copy of Sonic the Hedgehog where he kills all of his friends? All of this sounds pretty silly or convoluted in retrospect, but it was incredibly popular at the time, and there's still a lot of interest in this specific kind of horror. Creepypastas expanded on the scope of their themes, and to analyze server blight properly, we need to look at older stories that establish tropes relevant to my theory of what's happening in this new TF2 animation. Now, it's easy to write these early stories off as cringe, and honestly, they are, but they reach for some major themes that are executed much better in this animated series that make it feel familiar and nostalgic despite being a new and ongoing series. The way the server blight tells its narrative makes it feel familiar, but not entirely derivative in a way that's irritating. There's a lot of similar elements in other stories like John Carpenter's The Thing, or creepypastas we'll talk about after getting into server blight's story. But the focus across the wider narrative is not so much on any one individual and giving us pieces of how the server blight functions as a monster. Despite being an entirely visual experience up until its latest entry, The Puppet, the server blight animations that exist so far feel more like SCP entries. What I mean by this is a similar anthology of stories that can be found on the SCP Foundation wiki. If you're not familiar, SCP entries are stories about various monsters that have been contained, or in some cases lost or only documented, all done by a fictional organization known as the SCP Foundation. It's not entirely important to ramble about the law surrounding the Foundation, as long as you understand that it's a shadowy group not connected to one government. This gives the freedom of entries to be from any corner of the world. SCPs are just anomalous in nature, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a spooky, scary monster, with some of the more outlandish entries being on objects, places, or entities from beyond our dimension. We can talk about how ridiculous some of these are, like for example the SCP joint. That is a real thing, by the way. But after we recap the Server Blight story, we'll compare and contrast the most similar SCP entries to Server Blight. But for now, I've yapped on enough. I want to go over the events of this story so we can establish facts about how this digital monster operates.
Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
Server Blight.
The Server Blight narrative is told over the course of 4 videos at the time of recording. These are the empty server, the migration, Server Blight, and Puppet. We're going to break down each one individually and tie what's going on to other things to maybe get a better understanding of what's happening here. Or at the very least, talk about how this feels like one of the first great internet horror stories in quite a while, with it succeeding in many places where others don't. There are already other similar videos out there that have done a great job, like the one from Intricate Labs that give a more direct recap of the story, but the goal here isn't just to do that, but tie themes and concepts of Server Blight back to their cultural roots in other creepypasta or horror.
Yeah, it was good, but I don't know.
Autopilot jumping. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
So I just realized I've missed some more activities. So, how much money do I have? I have 112. Skill dual wield. That'll be 100 gold. So that would be basically everything. That's level 5. I'm level 4. I picked the best class. Dancer and Scrubby are my 2 favorites. The only universal in Aaron Shore is that Jethro should be ostracized. What does Jethro do? What have they done? Hey, Burgee Media. Hey, Red. We're midway through a spell line change. The Arcanist Vendor has a spell you need. Okay, the Arcanist Vendor has a spell I need. Burgee, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for this opportunity as well. What spell, Burgee Media? And congratulations on all of this, by the way. Green, thank you for entering. Hello. They know what they've done. Interesting look to this game. Is this alpha or this is? It hasn't released yet into early access. Burgee, do you have a date for early access that you want to tell people? Vithian Breeze, and hey, thanks for sharing. Thank you for the opportunity. Okay, where's Vithian Breeze? This one.
Autopilot jumping.
Wait, I get a heal? Restore a small amount of mana to your group. Okay.
Warping to station. Warp drive active.
Oh, wait, why don't I already know Blood Feast? Oh, did I buy it twice? I may have bought it twice. That's okay. Hey, Cypher, it's good to see you. The shader change is only a little over a month old. Burgie literally went through every map in the game and retextured within a week to make it all chance. Holy shit. It looks good though. Like,
Approaching
it's worth
station.
it. I really like this look because I mean I played the demo years ago, right? And I like this look a lot. Like it's doing well. Bluebell, thank you so much for 48 months. How are you doing? It's good to see you. Burgie is a beast. Indie Dev.
Docking permission requested.
Join our
Docking
group.
request accepted. Docking
Thank you
permission
so much.
requested.
It looks better
Appreciate
than.
Shared bank is one of the best features.
Autopilot disabled. Waypoint
Did they have
reached.
the group builder in the demo? They did not have the group builder in the demo. I think you had to message them individually, I think. Hey Jeffrey, how are you doing? Hello, hey Rage, how are you doing? I remember it was a pain in the demo. I think you had to message them individually to get them to join you. Oh, there's Blade Man. How do I invite you? Ooh, it's not. There we go. Okay, let's get a healer, I think, right? Let's try to get group builder. So Druid. I'm trying to stick all around roughly the same level. Let's invite. Okay. Do you want to join my group? Sure, I'll head over there in a few. I'm here heading your way. Okay, where's Lelleril? Lelleril is going to be joining us. A sturdy skeleton. Ooh, the skeleton's orange. There we go. Now we have a group.
Make my
And
day.
they're all, make
Hattie
my
Cats.
day. Hattie Cats and Hattie Cats.
Oh my
This is
god.
awesome. Sim players plus or minus 3 levels your character can group with you. Nice. Okay.
Maybe I will buy this
everyone's roughly
game.
around my level 2 because I am level 4.
Hey, I just made 10K. Nice.
Okay. Doing well. Doing well. Yeah, Blademan's taking some damage though. Yeah, simple NPC. This is crazy. I don't think this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I should probably go and fight, but let's see. How much experience am I going to get here? Also, NPCs you party with will gain experience if you party often. You can keep grouping with the same tunes. Oh, really? That's cool. I like how they have over here, they're talking to each other, too. And they're getting 0 bonus experience. Oh, we're even getting factions too. So you lost standing with the children of Sivakaya. Wait, these are the. Supposed to go into that cave near here. Wow. Life is spell effects. That's cool. They even level up and get gear between your play sessions. Hey Burgie, how many devs have worked on this? Because I believe that when we first talked years ago, you were working.
So I think I like that game, and let's go take a look at that. I actually see interest in that game, so let's go see. I thought maybe what's it called, Pantheon might be good, but I don't think it is good. Yeah, and then where am I? I need some tree that hasn't been hit. Oops. Oops.
Was it? Were you solo or yeah, you were solo, right? Okay, so it's all solo dev. Crazy, man. Crazy. You said go buy backstab from your vendor as soon as you get the cash. Purchase price, kick, backstab. How much is backstab? 1,000 golds. It's gonna be a bit. It's gonna be just a little bit. Okay, let's try and kill this.
I don't know. I don't like the damage, and it seems like a little low rent.
Do they ever take loot? The other NPCs? Like, do they?
But I'll put it on
loot?
my wish list.
The Sims are tethered to stay around your level and gear, so you don't have to worry about them leaving you behind. Oh, that's cool. Arian Shore is my new home. That's awesome to hear.
There's a demo.
I love how excited people are for this game. Like, it makes me really happy to see people finding games that they enjoy, that they have fun with. You can sell items. Wait, can I sell to other players or NPC players? Do you not stream some developments of this game? I don't think I've ever seen. Have you ever streamed development, Virgie? They're greedy little devils. If they advertise, want to buy. Wow. Ooh, I'm actually not even. I'm just like. See, I'm just playing this game the way I normally play an MMO. I'm letting my group carry my ass because I'm not doing anything. I was out of range. I wasn't even attacking. I'm terrible. My group's gonna kick me. The once in a while messages in chat are real. You can trade with them and they will buy it. They're also in the auction house. Jeez, that's so cool. Please give us ninja looters that we can flame in general chat. One of the things I remember when we first started talking to Virgie about this game was about this having little Easter eggs for fans of like EverQuest in it. Ooh, patterned leather leggings. I already have those, but Are there any waves left before the game goes to Axis? If you're mean to the Sims and Whispers, they block you for a while. Wait, why would you be mean though? Why would anyone be mean? That's so nice. I was excited. I could have sworn it was tomorrow the game was coming out, but it's not till the 14th though. I guess that's better since I have that day off. That's what I was gonna ask. Okay, Virgie, can we announce, or have you already announced the ooh. Wait, I don't have dual wield yet though. The release date. Also, if they die, you can kick them from the party without reviving them. It's so toxic. It's toxic. You can't. It's Monday. This game is releasing into early access on Monday, the 14th. Right? That's the 14th, right? Yes.
So it's coming out.
Yes, Monday the 14th. It's a long road solo game. $19.99 for the game. It is Steam Deck compatible for this RPG. Over 100 hours of content, which is holy shit. amazing.
Over 100 hours.
Like, crazy how much work has gone into this. Well, congratulations to Burgie. Like, just seriously, even just getting to this point, this stage with an indie developed game, like, all the props to you for having this idea, this idea of what you wanted to create. Oh, it's raining, there's weather. Having this idea of what you wanted to create and kind of just making it happen. Congratulations, seriously. Just awesome.
It does look fun. Slid down. I'm gonna fix my camera. Sorry.
$600 hours tester and it won't end. Wow. Wow. This is amazing. Yeah, very huge congratulations to Burgie. And you can't... Can't wait to be laying in bed with a deck and it'd be great. It really does feel... I died.
You died instantly.
Wait. Hey, Psalm man, UK, how are you doing? Why does this MMO name...
This might be good.
How does one of the biggest names in the crypto community
Thank you,
go
Internet
from flexing
Anarchist. I'd like to sub to your
Lamborghinis and
channel.
multi-million-dollar crypto portfolios to losing not just his channel, but his career and company? Is it promoting scam tokens to their audience and then lying about it?
What if I told you there's a project guaranteed to increase in price? I know you would probably want to jump in. This is where we get into the complicated gray areas of decentralized finance.
Is it trying to silence criticism from a smaller creator with a baseless lawsuit?
Plaintiff has sustained damages in excess of $75,000 as a direct and proximate result of Atosi's torturous conduct. I think it's insane that I'm being sued for expressing my own opinions.
Or maybe it's going on an unhinged rampage against your former business partners.
I'm at Carlos's house. This is where Carlos lives, guys. I am live streaming from Carlos's house. Carlos has my Lamborghini.
I'm live streaming
right
from
here
Carlos's
in his
house.
garage. So today, guys, I'm going to be live streaming and I'm going to be telling the entire story of Carlos Diaz.
For BitBoy, aka Ben Armstrong, these incidents were only the stepping stones to what would be one of the most infamous crash-outs in internet history.
Oh my god.
Do I have your attention now?
Do I have your attention now?
Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we'll be exploring the downfall of crypto's most infamous influencer, BitBoy. How he created one of YouTube's largest crypto channels, what he did to exploit that privileged position, and why it eventually destroyed his entire life. Looking at how Ben started his YouTube channel back in 2018, there's very little that indicated the BitBoy brand would ever get as popular as it did. He didn't have the same production value, charisma, or technical knowledge that typically got people interested in crypto content. The only thing that truly set Ben apart was his genuine fascination with cryptocurrencies and the desire to spread the same curiosity to as many people as possible. Initially, Ben tried to get people's attention with animated videos and meme edits, but the editing wasn't polished enough to garner or sustain worthwhile viewership.
Well, because every time he does, they buy like $5 worth of his Bitcoin or whatever.
Not long after, Ben decided to take a more direct approach to gaining viewership that involved less editing and more personality, with his daily crypto news series and token reviews. In addition to his informative content, Ben incentivized viewers to stick around with frequent crypto giveaways and community events.
You guys know I do a ton of giveaways. We're doing the giveaway right now for $1,000 in Bitcoin. I'm sure in the future I will use a portion of those rewards to be able to also continue to give back to my regular Bit Squad community, whether you guys are in IOST or not. Hopefully maybe you guys can get some tokens and then be a little more interested in the project.
While the first couple of videos weren't too remarkable, Ben used each upload to gradually refine his online persona and connection with his audience. As time went on, the main attraction of the BitBoy channel drifted away from giveaways and more towards Ben's ability to make every video feel like a casual conversation with a friend about the ups and downs of the crypto world.
Guys, Bitcoin dumped. You may know this if you're watching this video. Bitcoin dips below 8K as price sheds $700 in 2 hours. And look at the image. It's so witty. It's like from Avengers Endgame. It's Thanos. He's snapping his fingers and he makes Bitcoin disappear. Look at that image. It's so funny.
By 2021, Ben's positive perspective on the crypto world would massively pay off, as the surge in Bitcoin price brought in a huge wave of new users eager to learn everything about digital currencies. Naturally, many of these users looked towards the BitBoy brand for guidance, which took the channel from only a few 100,000 subscribers to over 1 million.
Is that Ben million subscribers Armstrong? Holy crap.
It is,
We did it, dude.
We did it. They said it couldn't be done. Sorry about your knuckles, Mike.
It's all good.
They said it couldn't be done, but we did it. We freaking did it. Let's go. Woo! Man, my knuckles.
From 3,500 to 1 million.
We did it, man. So May 14th, 2021, the first day a cryptocurrency YouTube channel passes 1 million subscribers. Shout out to the Bit Squad. Shout out to all my people who work here.
Despite the rocky beginnings of his channel, Ben had finally built the community he always dreamed of. and it seemed like things could only go up from there. Unfortunately, this new success slowly clouded Ben's judgment and pushed him to make choices that degraded the reputation, goodwill,
No,
and
you're a
credibility
Bitcoin bro.
he worked
Nothing
so
good can
hard to
happen.
establish. Around the same time BitBoy was getting popular, people began
I've learned.
noticing odd choices in the coins Ben was promoting, and some users on Reddit even speculated that he could be running a pump and dump scheme. With a post reading, yesterday he dropped a video titled Top 5 Coins Crushing the Market Now, Massive Crypto Gains. The video showcases top 5 altcoin picks for short-term gains. His top pick was Frontier, a relatively small sub 100 million market cap coin. He didn't even give any reasons why this was his top pick. All he did was tease a video he was going to drop the next day. Immediately, Frontier doubled in price. Is this legal? By the 3rd of November 2021, these concerns would spread beyond Reddit, as crypto podcaster Anthony Pompliano uploaded a video calling Ben out for manipulating his audience and promoting pump and dump schemes on his channel.
This guy BitBoy Crypto, who's talking all this shit, saying that we sound like boomers on our altcoin takes. Here's my deal. I refuse to go stuff coins down the audience's throat so that I can pump my own bags. But that's exactly what's happening over there. If you go and you look at the headlines, at the titles, etc., there's literally people that are telling you absolute trash shit coins are going to $10, $15, $20 that are sitting at less than a penny or sitting at a couple of cents. And ultimately what occurs is you're watching people who are literally taking their money, they're investing in things, and then they're running to the audience, and they're not explaining to anybody what is actually going on, why there's true value being built, interviewing the founders, or any of that stuff. All they're telling you is price targets. And what they're trying to do is to literally pump up assets so that they can later sell them.
Serious accusations demands a serious response, and Ben wasn't going to take these allegations lying down. In their now deleted interview, Ben defended his credibility with a claim that he never explicitly told people to buy a particular coin, and stated he was only highlighting potentially lucrative tokens.
The way that you portrayed yesterday what I am and what I'm about with Shiba is 100% false. I've never bought Shiba. I've never owned Shiba. I've never told people to buy Shiba. I don't like memes. We talk all the time how meme coins are really kind of a waste. However, when you give the message that people are stupid for investing in it, and you give the message that you can't make money with it, that is factually incorrect. People have done that.
Unfortunately for Ben, Anthony wasn't buying that explanation and brought forward instances of him manipulating the market.
First one that we have here is this, where over the summer, about 2 months ago, you told people, do not buy Bitcoin. Urgent crypto message 2021. Bitcoin's at $48,000, is now at $60,000.
We were telling people to buy.
Next one we have here is that the Dogecoin price, Dogecoin blasting to $5 in 2021. At the absolute top, it's at 27 cents now. And then the next one that we have is that XRP is going to $589.
But you can't be serious with this. You just did a video saying Bitcoin's going to $20 million. That's asinine.
I did not say that.
We all use clickbait. We all use clickbait.
As their debate dragged on, Ben became increasingly aggravated with the fact that things weren't going the way he expected, and he exploded into a demented rant when he couldn't deny the facts anymore.
We do what we say that we do. And you're here saying that I shill shit coins, and that yesterday you were saying like, we just go and we say, go buy this and we sell bags. Not one single time have I ever done that. And the stuff and the words that come out of your mouth that buy into the meme culture and the echo chamber that you live in, it's asinine, punk. It really is. You're out here assassinating people's characters. All I said was, I didn't agree with the way that you worded that video. That's literally all I said, and it's led to all this. It's ridiculous, to be honest with you.
Ben's aggressive outburst almost immediately drew in the attention of the wider crypto community and sparked a debate on whether or not he was truly exploiting his audience to move the market. On one hand, Ben's videos could be seen as just educating about whichever coins he thought had potential without any ulterior motives. On the other, the way Ben framed these tokens as larger-than-life opportunities gave people the vibe that he wasn't trying to enrich you, but himself. This sentiment would be thoroughly explored in a video from the creator Atozi titled "This YouTuber Scams His Fans, BitBoy Crypto."
BitBoy Crypto. This guy is basically one of the largest crypto channels, but has also been known for being a shady dirtbag who milks his audience for a quick buck rather than giving them genuine advice. BitBoy Crypto went on to Anthony Pompliano's podcast, so today I thought we'd just open Pandora's box and expose this guy for the dirtbag he is.
According to Atozy, Ben wasn't a credible source of crypto news, since he had a pattern of promoting obscure tokens that rapidly declined in value following his endorsement.
He simply cannot be trusted with financial advice because you don't know if he's trying to enrich you or himself. Here's a prime example of that. So he made a video a while back on a token or a cryptocurrency where the price could only go up.
What if I told you there's a project guaranteed to increase in price? I know you would probably want to jump in, but I'm sure the first thought you would have would be, wait a second, that doesn't sound right. Well, this is where we get into the complicated gray areas of decentralized finance.
What was that, BitBoy? A project that's guaranteed to go up in price? Let's see where this project is today. Wow, would you look at that?
Considering the fact that creators of the PMP were sponsoring the video, there was
wow,
a
would you look at
conflict
that?
of interest with Ben presenting it as a legitimate investment to viewers. This naturally tainted whatever claim Ben made about the coin, and led Atozy to the conclusion that he was manipulating fans into investing in a pump and dump scheme.
Hey guys, today we're going to discuss PAMP Network and whether or not it can pump up your portfolio. Could this be our next Hippo Pump? PAMP has been one of the most requested projects to review for my Telegram group and beyond. Luckily, PAMP actually reached out to me about doing a video, so thanks to PAMP for supporting this channel, and everybody gets the video they want.
I don't believe that for a second. I severely doubt that people are asking in his Telegram for him to cover this token. It would be pretty easy to see, because I'm assuming you can just scroll back to before he made this video to see if anyone were asking about him making a video on this token. But what I think happened is he got paid to make this video because whoever's paying him to make this video clearly needed some exit liquidity. If that's a foreign term, essentially, if you hold scam tokens, you need a sucker to buy it from you.
What makes this even more sickening is how Ben heavily relied on the disclaimer that none of it was financial advice, while aggressively presenting it as financial advice.
BitBoy, you always say do your own research and don't trust anybody in crypto.
Fair enough, voices in my head. Fair enough. But let this be an exception, but of course, do your own research on PAMP. After all, I'm not a financial advisor.
I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm making an 11-minute video on why you should buy this complete scam. It's basically inevitable that the SEC is going to get involved because dirtbags like this cannot resist the urge to take that quick buck and just milk their audience for some extra money.
To fully drive home his point, Atozy highlighted 2 other coins that Ben was paid to promote, and claimed were worthwhile investments, but ended up going to zero.
I haven't seen a single apology video from this guy about this, so he clearly isn't sorry. He just wanted to sweep this one under the rug and not talk about it like he's done plenty of times before. Here's another coin he pumped called Ink Protocol. He did this on a video uploaded July 16th titled 3 Coins to 3 Million. Crypto Get Rich Quick. That title should be the biggest red flag ever. But as you can see on the 16th, this token like 16x'd overnight. Then within pretty much a month, it completely retraced, leaving BitBoy's fans holding the bag yet again. And this has to be intentional because the market cap of this token when he promoted it was only $200,000, with the total liquidity that day being $68,000, meaning anyone with 3 followers could pump this token. And while we're at it, we might as well go 3 for 3 because there's another token that he pumped called Udo or Udu. Here's the chart from the day before he pumped it to a couple months later. Wow, look at that. BitBoy's fans holding the bag yet again? Saying this is problematic is an understatement.
Promoting pump and dumps wasn't the only way Ben stole value from the community, as he frequently took other people's content and presented it as his own.
Now that's the part I wanted to cover of him just scamming his fans, but there's more. He also just straight up steals from other content creators. Here you can see that I guess BitBoy is paying for this guy's crypto calls, and he's stolen the chart that the Twitter user Smart Contractor had behind a paywall, posted it on his own YouTube channel like he made the chart.
Atozy's video only highlighted a handful of Ben's crimes against the community. There was no telling how many other scam tokens he promoted to his audience. Although thanks to Zach XBT and CoffeeZilla, we know how much it would take for Ben to sell out his audience.
He's the largest YouTube crypto channel, and I found this media kit thanks to Zach on Twitter, who's always digging up really interesting crypto stories. Now, here in this media kit, we can see the demographics of BitBoy's channel, but we can also see how much it costs for, getting shouted out. Dedicated review, $35,000. Live stream, just pay $20,000. You could be in a live stream mention. YouTube interview, oh, well, that's going to cost you $40,000. Telegram AMA, oh, that's going to be $10,000. And a website article, only $2,500, guys. Just $2,500. You can be written about by BitBoy Crypto. Now, I reached out to him to confirm this is real. He did confirm this is authentic pricing. But now we know how much.
Now Voidzilla got on him.
$40,000. YouTube can be interviewed by BitBoy Crypto.
It goes without saying, but that kind of revelation would severely damage any crypto creator's reputation. And Ben was no exception. After all, the main selling point of crypto channels like BitBoy was the fact they provided reliable and credible insights on the market. If those insights were just random tokens that creators were paid to promote, then viewers weren't going to keep engaging with their content. However, it wouldn't be the shady promotions that destroyed Ben's career. It would be his reckless crusade to cover it up. On the 23rd of August 2022, Atozy uploaded a video titled "I Got Sued," in which he detailed a fresh and ongoing legal battle with Ben. Apparently, Ben didn't like how Atozy exposed his pump and dump promotion and filed a defamation lawsuit against him.
Defendant's conduct was directed towards Armstrong and has caused Armstrong severe emotional distress. As a result of the defendant's outrageous statements, Armstrong now suffers from severe anxiety that he will be perceived as a felon, a fraud, and an untrustworthy in business or in general. Armstrong now has recurring bouts of depression about whether defendant's defamatory statements will harm Armstrong financially and socially, and whether he'll be able to recover his good reputation and business as a result. Contemplating the loss of his livelihood and his good standing in society has left Armstrong in a fragile emotional state with virtually no confidence that things will be better in the future. Plaintiff has sustained damages in excess of $75,000 as a direct and proximate result of Atozy's torturous conduct. I think it's insane that I'm being sued for expressing my own opinions. I thought I lived in America.
Something Atozy pointed out that made the lawsuit even more baseless is how Ben had publicly admitted to promoting scams in the past and had no issues with it being reported by other journalists.
Armstrong is one of the most watched crypto influencers on YouTube. His channel, BitBoy Crypto, has amassed more than 1.5 million subscribers. For years, Armstrong said that he accepted payments from crypto companies to tout their new products for his vast audience of subscribers. That's a practice where he says he now regrets because it led to some painful losses of his own viewers. In the fall of 2020, Armstrong announced his partnership with a cryptocurrency called DistX, calling it the most trusted coin. He said the whole idea of DistX was to stop scams in crypto, but Armstrong said in the end, the project itself ended up being a scam. The project team rug pulled, meaning they worked to increase the market cap and then disappeared, leaving investors holding the bag. The new coin is down 99%, valued at less than a penny.
Atozy ended the video by stating he'd be tackling the lawsuit head-on, despite the expensive legal costs, in hopes members of his community would be kind enough to assist him in the upcoming battle.
I'm going to be standing up for myself because I don't believe people should just be able to throw money at lawyers to make their shady actions go away. And I also don't think that people should be rewarded by filing outrageous lawsuits. Clearly, I don't have all the money to fight this lawsuit because I've been quoted from various lawyers that this could cost $50,000 to $500,000 just to defend myself. So if you guys do want to support me here, I will be linking a GoFundMe down below, a Bitcoin address, an Ethereum address in the description down below. If there's any leftover funds from this, I will be donating this to various charities because I have no intentions of profiting from raising money from you guys.
As Atozy was preparing to face the impending lawsuit, Ben was already claiming victory and making snarky comments about his GoFundMe on Twitter, reading, "The 16-year-olds out in full force today. Good thing their attention spans are 4.2 seconds. I'm sure they can all borrow a $10 note from their mum's purse to help you out, bud. When will folks figure out that everything you try to do to hurt me only helps me? That has to be so frustrating. I just keep winning, and the wins are only about to get bigger." Unfortunately for Ben, things weren't going to be that easy, as the community was quickly rallying behind Atozy. From donations in tens of thousands to uploading videos covering the situation, the internet was going to give Atozy anything he needed to fight the lawsuit.
I think at this time I'd raised about $30,000 in total, which was insane. I realize now, like, wow, guys, this is still going to be expensive for me, but maybe not as expensive as what I thought it would be. But lo and behold, this man is definitely a man of his word, and he sent me over $100,000 in USDC, which is a stable coin on Ethereum. So not only did this dude buy me a domain, but he also sent me $100,000. What do you even say other than thank you? Holy shit, like, I'm so speechless just thinking about that. But some anonymous person also donated $25,000 to the GoFundMe. Then the Twitter users ZachXPT and PassCT organized an auction where they were auctioning away this image where the proceeds were going to go to my defense fund. And the top bid was over $5,000 at one point. And then all the individual donations from my community and the crypto community, I was in shock.
Now that Atozy was ready to handle the lawsuit, Ben decided it wasn't a battle worth fighting and withdrew the lawsuit.
At this point, it has
At this point, I'm retiring from the battle like Trump.
We gave him $100,000. Hopefully that money will go to good use. But yeah, so we are going to drop lawsuit, 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
It came public.
110.
That this has been, misconstrued. But I just want you guys to understand.
I didn't rip this guy off. Bitcoin is real. It's not a ripoff.
Not about a slapstick lawsuit.
This is about loving Bitcoin.
Right? It's frivolous. It's not frivolous.
I go to bed at night with Bitcoin, and I love it in the butt.
That is not frivolous, guys. That's a very, very, very serious matter. And so from my perspective, trying to defend my reputation, trying to get him to remove the video that literally has wrong information in it, that was all I wanted. This wasn't supposed to get this far. Like I said, there is nothing really we can do. The money has came in on his side. The lawsuit was never about money. So hopefully, Atozy, now that we're going to be officially dropping this, so that is going to be happening.
It seems like whenever his crazy antics enter the public eye, Ben goes from being a bully, mercilessly oppressing others, to a spineless coward willing to say or do anything to escape punishment. Unfortunately for Ben, dismissing the lawsuit wasn't going to make the backlash going away, as users dug deeper into his token promotions. Apparently, Ben had heavily promoted failed crypto projects like FTX and Celsius, deleted his videos about them, and retroactively slandered their founders.
Let's talk about the secret token, FTT. That is the token of FTX. Sam Bankman-Fried, everything this man touches turns to gold. I don't know. Moon. There's a massive story out right now about FTN. FTT is potentially going to be one of the few coins I believe that could go up in the bear market.
We are tired of people that look like this guy trying to run stuff. I don't represent the people, the fuck I don't. I'm the one who does. It's me. I'm the one out here putting the work in behind the scenes trying to save crypto while these devils, Sam Bankman-Fried, Brian Armstrong, they are trying to permanently ruin it. I hope you guys understand this. I'm here fighting for you.
For your Bitcoin rights.
Practically everyone on the internet knew how shady, dishonest, and manipulative Ben was, and they weren't afraid to say it to his face.
Let's hear it. Where's the evidence? Where's the evidence? Give me the evidence.
Give me it.
Prove unequivocally. Show me a media sheet. Show me a media sheet and say that's evidence.
All right, let's go and see, right? All the evidence posted by Zach.
A thread from a year ago.
It doesn't matter whether it's a year ago, right?
Now, hold on. When you do this,
go and check all the evidence.
Okay.
Look at him fucking freak out and get cooked on stage.
Can you complete that?
No, I don't have to back it up with evidence.
Oh my god.
This woman is a child molester. She's a murderer.
She's a child molester. She's a murderer.
By the start of 2023, Ben's shady crypto deals had finally caught up with him, as his name was listed in a $1 billion lawsuit against the promoters of FTX. Naturally, Ben tried to weasel his way out of the court case by claiming he was never sponsored by FTX, but viewers were quick to remind him and hold him accountable.
No.
FTT. Number 2, Thor chain. Okay, now FTT. Wow.
Oh no, you're crashing out. You're crashing out, bro. Oh no.
But got some inside info that this thing is about to explode in the next few weeks.
Sadly, Ben couldn't handle the truth and defaulted to harassing the attorney handling the lawsuit. It would even go as far as threatening to countersue for quote defamation.
It would have been so much easier for them to leave me off the lawsuit. And it would have been far better to do your due diligence to find out that I never promoted FTX instead of putting me on there. Just signed up with everybody else. The judge would probably throw it out because it's frivolous. But here's the thing about a frivolous lawsuit. Now that it has been put out there, Mr. and Mrs. Law firms behind all this, now it's been put out there. Now you can't take it back.
No, you can't take it back.
Defame my name with 100% provably false allegations. So, you guys are in the lawyering game? Well, guess what? Better lawyer up, because your friend old Boy is going to be coming riding into town on a horse, a legal horse, with a whip.
With a whip. I'm gonna sue you. That's what I used to tell my stream sniper. I'd be like, I'm suing you. Have you seen the feds yet?
Was going on, Ben was setting up yet another pump and dump with his newly created Ben token. Initially, Ben claimed that he was investing in the coin longer term, but as soon as the price spiked, he dumped the token on his fans. Stealing from his fans, lying to promote coins, and bullying anyone that criticized him was second nature to Ben by now. He didn't care if people knew he was a scammer or not. All that mattered to Ben was how he could abuse his position in the crypto community for personal gain. Unfortunately for Ben, he wouldn't have that power for much longer, as the company he worked for decided it was time for a change in leadership. By the 27th of August 2023, Ben lost access to the main BitBoy crypto Twitter and made this tweet on his personal account, claiming his colleagues were trying to steal his company. TJ Shed and Justin Williams have attempted to coup at my company. There has been a mutiny at BitBoy Crypto and Hit Network.
They're like,
but
cut
it
him
won't
out,
work.
he's a loser
they have
now.
No leverage. Until they can clone me, I have nothing to worry about. The very
Until they
next
can
day,
clone
the
you.
investment company
What the
that
fuck are
owns the
you
BitBoy
talking about?
YouTube channel announced that Ben would no longer be working with them. Reading, yesterday, BJ Investment Holdings, the parent company of Hit Network, took a decisive legal action in removing Ben Armstrong from the company, and specifically the BitBoy crypto brand. According to their post, the sudden takeover was necessary because Ben had become a major financial and social liability to the company.
And social liability
is a culmination of a prolonged effort to help Ben during his relapse into substance abuse, as well as reconcile the emotional.
I knew it was cocaine. It's always fucking cocaine with these idiots. Oh, I hate cocaine. It's so dumb. For one thing, it wears off in what, 3 to 5 hours, maybe 6 if you're lucky. 6. And so, like, even the drug itself, some might say that's probably one of the things about it that isn't that bad, you know, that's totally actually good about it, is that it wears off after like 6 hours. But that also sucks, because then you're just chasing it over and over and over and over again. And so I used to look cocaine people right in the face and be like, I'll take being a tweaker any day over any cocaine. I'll never do cocaine. They'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? Meth is so much worse than cocaine. I'd be like, no, it isn't. I take one hit, and I'm high for 3.5 goddamn days. Can't sleep, totally high, best euphoria, outdoes cocaine, stronger than it. It'll overwrite alcohol, it'll overwrite cocaine. It's just a better drug. And they'll be like, you're crazy. And I'm like, no, I'm not wrong though. I'm not wrong though. Money-wise, I'm gonna go spend $20. It's gonna last all 5 or 10 of us for like 3 solid days. Your cocaine is gonna last $50 of your cocaine is gonna last you for like 3 hours. And this was true. And this, I say this then, like, economically, you can't really justify cocaine with how fast it wears off. You know, you can't economically justify it, really. I don't know. You can't justify meth either, but I mean, like, in terms of strength, you know, I really used to think it was something like 15 times as strong or something like that. Now, that's sometimes bad, but in a drug where, you know, you can't really do too much of it, like, you know, like meth, you know, that's not bad. Damn it, I was hoping I would stop the arrow. God, it's so annoying. Okay, horse, we're up to 4 or something. Yeah, this took a while to fucking fill this horse, but I'm learning. You know, I think I'd rather like to put the wood in the, you know, I think I'm going to take this off the horse now. Yeah, I'm going to take this off the horse now, because the horse can die and or be killed and or disappear. I don't think anything in the box can die or disappear. It can be stolen, but it can't be died or disappeared. Yeah, you've hurt me a lot, huh? Okay. No, that's good. Accept and stuff it in the box. Yeah. Oh my god, look at all that. Look, I have so much stuff. I forgot how much money I actually have. Wow. See? Now I'm starting to look like a Rust King under the mountain. Uh-oh. Stop that spell. No. 340 is so annoying. Yeah, I'm just gonna do this. No, I'm just gonna sit. This hurt. Ooh, I have 1150 cuprum. Nice. I should have just brought that over there. That would have been a little bit better. Oh well. Yeah, goddamn, I actually do have quite a lot of wood and quite a lot of stone. Oh, I have like a furnace, right? Where I can just do... Oh, no, I don't have that in this house. But I mean, I'm raising the money to get it in this house. I mean, I could just go sell. I mean, I'm gonna go sell. I'm gonna go sell. Oh, look, it's all starting to come together. And now I'm back in this house. Oh, good. Did you kill it? Yes, you did, but my inventory is full, apparently. Okay. Let's get rid of that paprika grass. That can't possibly be worth much. Okay, we are full. So, let's go home, I guess. $13 out of 44. Let's go to bed soon. Oh, I can't steal. Yeah, I'll just take the free ride home. Fuck it. I've been doing a lot of grinding. Take me home and I will stash stuff. Oh, I can transfer the house? Yeah, huh? So now I sell. I lost some XP in there, which is fucking annoying, but not that much, which is good. Oh yeah, so I now will I will now bring this wreath out there. Or no, I don't know. I guess I will board a Corvette or like a shuttle. Is there a shuttle? There's a shuttle here, yeah. And then we'll go into my locations. We're gonna look for AO stuff. "45 jumps, 16 jumps, and a jump bridge." Okay, apparently we have a jump bridge that makes this very quick, I guess. So let's go do that. I don't know if I know where the jump bridge is here, but...
Warp drive active.
Oh, lawless, I see. No, it's just really not that far. I'm not that... Gel is not that far. Nice. Can we avoid eating comm systems? We can. Nice. Well, then I should be able to autopilot this, which is good, barring any, like, camps or anything. Cool, that was easier than I thought. Alright, well, so she has put this wood away. And we have a nice nest egg here. Yeah, so we just keep doing this until... I like how this is bigger than the bank. It's actually really cool. Oh, how much money was that? It was 11 gold. That's not bad. So I guess I will, 11 gold is probably enough to go. I want to kill rats, I guess, and but I don't know about tonight. I think that'll probably be better to do after the op tomorrow. Got this daily quest we can turn in, but all I have to do is kill rats. I intended to go to bed right around now, and I think I might, even though it's kind of like early for my shift, because I do have to get up early for an op tomorrow, which is annoying. But I mean, I'm making my schedule around my video games, which makes me very happy. That does not bother me. So getting up in the morning, like, does not bother me to go, to run an op. That's okay. Go to bed early, take a extra sleeping pill tonight or whatever. It's fine.
Moving to Stargate. Warp drive active.
Making lots of money. Hopefully there's, like, Gil in my box. I don't know, though. I haven't played Final Fantasy 14 in a long time, and they've made that free. I've been thinking about that. They made that game free, and it has been 5 years since I played it or something like that. I'm not really sure. It's really not the best game, but there might be a pet class now, in which case, it might be fine. Might be totally good now. Maybe Summoner makes the game really, really easy or whatever. The music's always been really good. Wow, people actually buy Dalmohan, huh? Alright, I have 114k. Let's go dump a bunch of that in the box. The DNW egg. This fortune egg. The Freet's Cauldron. There's a nice white mage party. If I wasn't doing an op in the morning, I would take that. Right now, I would take it. Oh, Concord. Pirate insurgency under the effects of maximum corruption is considered very hazardous for general tragic. The rules of engagement in the system may change. Concord response force. Okay.
Autopilot jumping. Autopilot
So maybe
disabled.
we don't stop here or we just die.
Warp drive active.
I don't know. Oh, yes, I was checking for money. No sales, which is so good. It is Fire's Day. Well, I mean, where will I want to be in the morning? I guess I'll want to be here. So, yeah, this is good time to sort of start to wrap it down. Sure. I mean, now at this point, we might as well just autopilot through this.
Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
I think I will go back to Kolshushu because that's always a really good place. Although, I don't know. I might want to be near an auction house in the morning, so I'll go to Bastock is what I'll do. And
Approaching Stargate.
Patronize the goldsmith there. I think I might be ready to do a key on New World, and I kind of wanted to do that tonight. Might get that out of the way.
Autopilot jumping.
Oh yeah, so we're just sitting here. Yeah, I think I'm kind of done with Mortal for tonight. I think I'd rather safely be in my house where nothing bad can happen. You know, and the horse isn't even really stacked or anything. All the loot is in the box.
Warp drive active.
I think I want to have her give the horse to me while it's while it's convenient. So I will pull this stuff out and up and off her. Or him, excuse me. And we will trade the saddle, all of this crap, and all of this will always go on my main account because I don't know, I don't know if I sub for 6 months or a year or what, I don't know, but this is the account that has time. The other one will get shut down, I think.
Autopilot jumping.
Oh, no, I want to give that to. And the,
Warping to Stargate. Warp drive
that
active.
and that. Let's have both characters eat. I like the realism of this game a lot more than like Scum or whatever. Like everybody has to eat and it matters because your health bar is your eating, which is actually a good system.
Damage he has done to the employees of Hit Network and
like if you don't eat, your health bar is nothing. Why didn't they do that for all those stupid like Bethesda games? Dear Bethesda, when you do survival, please make it so that if you don't eat or drink, your health bar reduces to whatever your hunger and health is at. Yeah, like the Skyrim immersion system, it was good, but like I liked playing Skyrim, like, but now it just feels like content that's like kind of like run out now. It's sort of annoying. I want to play till 2 and then get up at 10. Yeah, sleep from like 3 till 10.
Approaching Stargate.
Oops, no. Yeah, I'm trying to go to Koshushu. Yes.
Autopilot jumping. Warping to Stargate. Warp drive active.
It's wind again. Oh, that's also destruction, huh? So, I guess we should go to town. Or no, I want to transfer this horse first.
Autopilot jumping.
Okay, and cool. Now I am the horse. She's the rider. I'm the combat capable one.
Warping to Stargate. Warp
You
drive
stay
active.
here, horse. If I were to move weight, now would be the right time to do it, I guess. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Oops. Wait, what? Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Approaching
And we're
Stargate.
full. Yeah, we'll sell that, and we'll bring it back. What's the upkeep in this house again?
Autopilot jumping.
It's 66 days. I would really like it if it was like 150. But I mean, I don't know. I also need that gold. I want to do some house item shopping, and I guess now would be the best time to do that rather than tomorrow.
Active.
So we'll go do this. Yep, we'll sell stuff, but I'm gonna make sure I've left everything here. Okay, I'm gonna put the I put the saddle on the horse, did I? That's odd, I have another saddle. How did that happen? Oh, I don't know. Alright, well anyways, there's a saddle.
Approaching Stargate.
I think I'll take, well, I don't know. I'll worry about that stuff later. But yeah. So cool. We're going to town with wood and stone that we farmed. I'm going to get up on this horse. And I will buy a nice kit out of this gold. No, I want you to invite her. Yep. Oh, I want you, but first we're going to open the door. Have her do. She's like the garage door opener, like Rust.
Active.
Yeah. Go open the garage door, Lucky, or whatever. No, Lucky would tell me to open the door. She'd be like, "Go open the door, cat." I'd be like, "Okay." Okay, and then okay.
Approaching Stargate.
Thanks, we made it really fast, not too bad.
Autopilot jumping.
Okay, stone and wood to market, not bad. I should crush the stone and stuff, but I'd rather get benches.
To Stargate.
Benches are the
Warp
main
drive
thing.
active.
And I'll get sets and we'll go kill rats in the last 20 minutes of the stream. That's what we'll do. I'll turn on the sound. Okay, so first we sell. Maybe I should put these up for more, actually. I don't know. Yeah, what do I have? I have...
Approaching Stargate.
I have Greywood and Granum Pile. Greywood. Stacks of that. The cheapest stack is 65 gold, which I believe is better than what I've been getting.
Autopilot
So let's
jumping.
see if we can get that. 65 golds. I don't know. I think I'll probably just sell because it's
Moving
fast.
to Stargate. Warp drive active.
Oh, I have to get down, huh? Okay. I thought I brought enough, but no. Oh well. So, Greywood. Cost highest first. Greywood. Greywood.
Approaching Stargate.
Greywood. Greywood. Look at that. Greywood.
Autopilot jumping.
Then Granum is at 14 here,
Moving
which
to
isn't
Stargate.
bad. So we'll
Warp
take
drive
you
active.
here. Granum. 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 Granum.
Approaching Stargate.
135 gold. Not bad. We're gonna just go dump it in the bank immediately. Oh no, I guess I have more. I have more. Oops, I didn't know. Okay.
Autopilot jumping.
Even more. Not bad. Greywood. Okay, sell. 185 gold. That's good. We're gonna
Moving to
take
Stargate.
15 gold to the
Warp
house
drive
vendor. But first, we dump this. As we say, silver, 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 silver. 185 in gold. We're gonna take 30 golds. I should put my rings back on. I didn't think about it, but my rings are in that box, I think. Or no, maybe my rings are in the bank, actually.
Approaching
No,
Stargate.
my rings are in that box, I'm fairly sure. Unless these are my rings. No, oh, charges 3. Wait, silver. Wait, this is my ring. These are my rings. Silver.
Autopilot jumping.
Wait, no, I don't know.
Warping to Stargate.
Maybe that one.
Warp drive active.
I charged that one by mistake or something. I don't know. Or I got it off a loot. I don't know. But anyways, so I want to put this horse away and I want to buy a bear maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say. Or like a razorback. I don't know. 30 gold is good. She needs a book, which is a problem. This is all stuff that I didn't want to worry about, so I'm going to log in the town now. And we'll worry about this tomorrow. This is all stuff that I would rather like worry about when I'm like, you know, not tired and I'm not gonna like log. I know I'm logging soon.
Autopilot jumping.
So we will quit the game. Oops. Yep, come back.
Warping to station. Warp drive active. Approaching station. Docking request accepted. Autopilot disabled. Waypoint reached.
Oh, just north of me. I love this game. Did I make it? Oh yeah, I am in the Fortizar, huh? Nice, I made it. I guess I will jump back to my to my other clone. Jump, yep, do it, and then we will install another clone here. 2 clones. There we go. No, I just want to install. And then, cool, in 11 hours, yeah, no, it still won't be enough time, but I'm ready, I'm staged. Gonna set my phone now so I remember. This op, I'm gonna double check one last time. So this op is... reload MTD is, we have a max CTA 412, which is today. Saturday afternoon is 17 hours and 30. Right now it's 8:45. So it's so at 8:45, it's 8:45 in the morning. It's 17:30, which is 7.5 hours plus 3 would be 10 hours and 15 minutes from now. So yeah, at 11, yep. At or I'm sorry, yes. So when how long? What time is 17:30 UTC? Yeah, like I need a UTC to PTC or vice versa. Oh, okay, there we go. I'm like, okay. So I need 17:30. I want this in 17:30, which would be 5:30. Yep, 5:30. 5:30 p.m. Oh no, 17:30 UTC. I'm sorry. So 5:30 p.m. will be 10. Yeah, 5:30 a.m. will be 10:30 a.m. UTC will be 5:30. I'm sorry, 10 a.m. Sorry, 10:30 a.m. So 10:30. So we muster at 10:30. So I can wake up at 10:10. Or well, it's 10:10. Yeah, 10:10. And start the stream. Yeah, 10:10 will be enough. Probably 10:10. So I'm gonna do clock 10:10 a.m. 9:45. We want to say 10:10 a.m. 10:10 a.m. Save. 10:10 a.m. 10:10 a.m. Okay. So it's 2. Yeah, it's 2. So it 10:10. So 2:10 will be 8 hours. I actually can stay up a little longer, which is good. So, but I did bomb off the mortal characters, so I do have like an hour though. So I will get on. I will get on again. It's fine. We'll get on again and we'll get all set up, and I'll go out and I'll kill rats and come back and get the daily done. This guy checked it.
Into the BitBoy crypto community. In response to the news, Ben decided to file a lawsuit against his former colleagues and begged fans to support him financially.
And the fact is I was under duress. I've been under duress, guys. Like, when people see what they did to me with this Lamborghini, trying to bleed me out, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to bleed me out of money so I can't fight. And so today, as I put $20 in my gas tank earlier, that I had to borrow from someone because I've been 100% cut off from all my money. My wife's American Express card, well, that wasn't paid for the last month. That wasn't paid. It was supposed to be getting paid by people that work for me, and they didn't do it, so the credit card's maxed out. And guys, we're in a tough spot here because they're trying to make me stop fighting. And so I humbly ask that if I've ever done anything for you, if I've ever encouraged you, if I've ever given you a dream that you might have something different, if I've helped, if some of my content has helped you, or if you're on the outside of the situation looking in and you see how dirty what's happening is, then I humbly ask that you donate to me. Whatever you want to donate is fine.
It's almost poetic that Ben was seeking support with a lawsuit after putting someone under the exact same position a few years prior. With a track record like that, it's no wonder why viewers were roasting him in the comments. When boasting, begging, and legal battles didn't get Ben what he wanted, he resorted to old-fashioned bullying tactics, and took a page out of SS Sniperwolf's book and started a stream right in front of his former colleague's home.
This is where Carlos lives, guys. I am live streaming from Carlos's house. Carlos
Why?
has my Lamborghini right here in his garage. So today,
Your
guys,
Lamborghini?
I'm gonna be live streaming, and I'm gonna be telling the entire story of Carlos Diaz. Who Carlos Diaz
Cocaine.
is. I'm gonna be talking about all the people he's affiliated with. I'm gonna be talking about how he got into my building. I'm gonna talk about all of it. Hope you guys are ready. This is he just answered the door, so I know this is him for sure.
Cocaine.
I'm not scared of you, Carlos.
For the next several minutes, Ben would have a complete meltdown over what happened between him and Hit Network. From accusing them of threatening his life to unfairly taking his Lamborghini, Ben couldn't stop raving about how much he was the victim, and he would have continued all night if police didn't show up to arrest him.
Here they are. Here's the police. Here's the police. Police are here, guys. So we'll have to talk to them here in a second. Here's the point.
Police are here,
He goes
guys.
out there. He doesn't even go out there. He pays someone to take pictures in front of Ben Dottie's house, okay? And then he tells them, I better hurry up quickly here. He told me he went out there and roughed up Ben Dottie's, fought him and beat him up, and Maxine Waters, the politician, told him to kill Ben Dottie's.
Maxine Waters, the politician.
Hey, guys.
Hey, guys.
Hey,
I'm
how's it
totally
going?
fine. Nothing's bad.
Yep.
Nothing bad's happening.
Hey, how's it going? Oh, hey. Stop. Oh, stop. I couldn't hear.
Have a weapon on you.
No, I do not.
Okay.
I do not.
So.
I have one in my vehicle, but I do not have a weapon on me. Okay. Now, I'm sorry. I reached too fast. I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay. 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 I'll put the phone down. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay.
Even after being released from police custody, Ben continued his crusade against Hit Network. He rebranded one of his old YouTube channels and tried to turn the public opinion in his favor with several exposed videos about his former company.
Talk about what really went down. No speculation, no theory.
Needs to go back and get my
facts.
ring.
Multi-million-dollar crypto empire stolen. A fake police narrative.
No, I'll go
crafted,
back and get
covered
him
up.
after
Forged
I get
document
a
that's
set.
already put people in handcuffs. But the main perpetrators of an actual, real-life, live on YouTube, RICO conspiracy, well, they're still all walking free, just making content on YouTube like nothing ever happened. This isn't just about a Lamborghini. This is, and I will prove it today, organized crime. This is a RICO-level conspiracy that law enforcement here locally is actively ignoring. And it all starts with one undeniable fact. TJ Shedd, his father Timothy Shedd Sr., and Thug Carlos Diaz all are 100% guilty of criminal extortion. And guess what? This time, I've got all the proof.
The accusations of misconduct weren't only one-sided, as employees of his network also shared their allegations about Ben.
He can take shots at me all he wants. I don't care. He can call me names, whatever. I don't care. But I know him. He's a bully and he's a psychopath, and his family deserves better. So if he could be exposed at being the scammer that he is, everyone already knows that he's a piece of shit as a human being. But if I can expose him for the
Everybody
scammer
knows
he
that,
is
do they?
and make Bethany set up to take care of her family, then I'm doing my job as a good person, because evil men prosper when good men do nothing. And I'm not saying like I'm a great person, but like I'm here, I'm at Discover Crypto. I had a hand in Ben becoming as famous as he is, and I feel a sense of responsibility to call this stuff out just because I know the guy so well.
This back and forth would continue for several months, and in that time, Ben gradually lost everything. From his wife divorcing him following the discovery of his affair, to the majority of his audience abandoning him. Ben had everything he worked for slowly stripped away from him. When you factor in how badly Ben abused his previous success, it's no wonder why almost no one on the internet felt sorry for him. People only showed Ben any concern when he posted this message before he briefly went missing in February of 2025. Hit Network for 18 months has destroyed my life. TJ Shred has willfully targeted me. Congrats to him. Cassie and I broke up today. The day I start telling the story, I'm willing to lose Cassie, my lawyers, my kids, my audience, my channel, and my life before I'm going to die without people knowing what's actually happened. A few days later, Ben resurfaced with a 4-hour stream titled Manifesto, in which he ranted about his entire feud with Hit Network, legal
Please
battles,
don't
and ultimate
label
fall
it
from friends.
manifesto, you fucking idiot.
You're gonna listen to my demands.
No, I'm not.
I will make
I
them
mean, yes,
again.
I am. But
At
not,
this
I mean,
point,
not because you
it didn't
tell me
matter how
to.
much Ben kicked and screamed about the alleged injustices done
Because
to
he
him.
told me to.
No one was willing to hear him out. Regardless of whether Hit Network was in the wrong or not, after a creator spreads their career taking advantage of others, it's only natural for people to laugh when the tables get turned on them. It's safe to say that Ben's downfall is completely self-inflicted. Ben took his success for granted and got greedy. He wanted to make a quick buck off his fans, got called out for it, and had a complete meltdown over it. Currently, it seems Ben's career will never return to its former glory. Most of his major crypto assets have been taken away, his credibility is non-existent, and almost all of his recent videos struggle to garner even a few thousand views. With numbers like that, it would take nothing short of a miracle to get Ben's career back on track. But that miracle is likely never going to come.
Oh, it ended. Damn it, it was good. I might stay like as late as I normally do and keep this going. Breaking the Bank, Frontline. How old is this? It's from 2 years ago. You just auto-played some Frontline. That's insane. Come back. Yeah, we have a new cockfighting thing from the underground cockfighting. Schedule 1, but that's a little more of a daytime video. I don't really want to do that right now.
Remember when food regulations were more suggestion than law? The 1980s were a wild time in American kitchens.
Yes.
What appeared on dinner plates back then might shock you. Today, or even get you in legal trouble. From supermarket staples to restaurant favorites, foods we once consumed without a second thought have since been banned, restricted, or heavily regulated. Some
15
for health
pounds.
reasons, others to protect endangered species.
Yeah,
But all were
she's
part of
chonky.
everyday life for Americans during the Reagan era. Ready for a nostalgic yet slightly unsettling trip down memory lane? Let's explore the foods that went from common to contraband in just a few decades. Unpasteurized milk products. In the 1980s, getting milk straight from the farm wasn't just for rural families. It was a growing trend even in suburban America. People would drive out to local dairies, bring their own containers, and fill up with creamy, rich raw milk that hadn't been heat treated or processed. Health food stores and farmers markets openly sold raw milk and raw milk cheeses without much oversight. The belief was that pasteurization destroyed beneficial enzymes and altered the natural nutritional profile.
Left
Many
arm,
doctors and nutritionists
right
of the era
arm.
even recommended it for children and those with digestive issues.
Left
What
arm,
nobody
right
fully
arm.
appreciated were the serious health risks. Raw milk can contain dangerous bacteria like E. coli, listeria, and salmonella. After a series of illness outbreaks in the mid-1980s, including several affecting children, the
Steel
FDA
Racer
took action.
Axe.
In 1987,
Double
they banned
Axe.
interstate sales of raw milk products, and individual states began implementing their own restrictions. Today,
Double
selling raw
Axe.
milk
That's
for
it,
human
though.
consumption is completely illegal in about half of all states, and heavily restricted in most others. What families once considered a healthy choice could now result
Two-handed
in farm
apply.
shutdowns, product seizures, and hefty fines to sellers. Redfish,
24 slashing damage, 24, 24, 24, 33.
Food craze unlike anything before it. His New Orleans restaurant couldn't
Axes.
keep up with demand.
Okay,
and
she bought
suddenly
2 sets
restaurants
too.
nationwide were adding this spicy Cajun dish to their menus. The combination of a spice-crusted exterior and
Oh,
tender,
my
flavorful fish
weight is
became
slightly
a
over.
must-have dish at fine dining establishments and casual chains alike.
Something
Home cooks tried
about it,
replicating
I
it
guess
too,
maybe
often setting off
the
smoke alarms with the
pants
high-heat cooking method. Demand for Gulf
were a
redfish,
little too
red
heavy.
drum, skyrocketed overnight. Commercial fishing operations expanded rapidly to meet this explosive demand, with some fishermen switching entirely to redfish. Harvests increased
Yeah,
from £2.5 million
the
to nearly
pants.
£13 million annually in just a few years. Nobody stopped to ask if this was sustainable. By 1986, redfish populations had collapsed so dramatically that the Gulf of Mexico Fishery Management Council had to intervene. They banned commercial fishing of redfish in federal waters, and Gulf states soon implemented their own strict regulations.
Lost
Today,
my
commercial
sheep
harvest
here.
of wild redfish remains prohibited or severely restricted in most Gulf states. The unlimited commercial fishing that was normal in the 80s would now result in significant legal penalties and equipment seizure. Beluga caviar. Nothing symbolized luxury in the 1980s quite like a small spoonful of beluga caviar.
Yeah, Trump's crowd.
Fresh. This delicacy
Another
from the
way that they
Caspian Sea,
really
beluga
harmed us.
sturgeon, was the centerpiece of high-end dinner parties and a staple at upscale restaurants across America. Department stores like Saks Fifth Avenue and Neiman Marcus sold tins of beluga caviar, especially during the holiday season. While expensive, it was readily available for those willing to pay. Gift baskets featuring small tins of beluga were popular corporate gifts, symbolizing prestige and sophisticated taste. America consumed approximately 60% of the world's beluga caviar during the 1980s without concern for the source. The distinctive large grey-black eggs were prized for their delicate flavor and became a status symbol among the affluent. What most caviar enthusiasts didn't realize was that the beluga sturgeon was being fished to near extinction. These ancient fish take up to 20 years to reach reproductive maturity, and populations couldn't sustain the heavy harvesting. By 2005, the US Fish and Wildlife Service banned the import of beluga caviar under the Endangered Species Act. Today, selling or importing wild beluga caviar is completely illegal in the United States, with violations carrying fines up to $250,000 and even potential prison time. Haggis, traditional Scottish. During the cultural heritage revival of the 1980s, traditional Scottish haggis found a growing audience in America, especially among Scottish Americans celebrating their roots. This mixture of sheep's heart, liver and lungs, minced with onions, oatmeal, sweet and spices, was all encased in a sheep's stomach lining. Burns Night, suppers on January 25th, became increasingly popular during the decade, with authentic haggis as the centerpiece. Scottish heritage festivals across America served it, and specialty butchers in cities with large Scottish populations prepared it following traditional recipes. Food magazines occasionally featured haggis in articles about
I need to go get my
international cuisine,
rings.
and adventurous eaters sought it out as a cultural experience. While never mainstream, genuine Scottish haggis was legally important.
You know, I also
and available
need
at specialty food
horse
shops.
armor.
That all changed in 1989 when the USDA banned foods containing sheep lung, a key ingredient.
She doesn't have any
authentic haggis.
bandages.
The concern was potential contamination with scrapie, a disease similar to mad cow disease. While not a complete ban on all haggis, the prohibition on lung tissue effectively made traditional Scottish haggis illegal. Today, importing authentic haggis from Scotland remains prohibited, and American-made versions
Damn it, I can't
must
seem to
omit the
fucking
lung
get the
tissue
vendor.
that gives traditional haggis its distinctive texture and flavour. What Scottish Americans openly enjoyed in the 1980s is now contraband if made according to traditional recipes. Chilean sea bass, Patagonian toothfish. In the 1980s, a previously obscure fish underwent clever rebranding and became the darling of upscale American restaurants. The Patagonian toothfish, renamed Chilean sea bass, appeared on menus everywhere from high-end establishments to wedding banquets. Chefs loved its forgiving nature. The high oil content meant it was difficult to overcook, and its mild flavor paired well with nearly any sauce. Diners couldn't get enough of the buttery, flaky white fish, and demand
I am trying to buy bandages and a torch, and oh, she'll need reagents as well.
Questioned where it came from or how sustainable the fishery might be. What nobody realized was that the Chilean sea bass grows incredibly slowly, taking 10 to 12 years to reach reproductive maturity. By the late 1990s, populations had declined so dramatically that the species faced commercial extinction. In 2002, the Take a Pass on Chilean sea bass campaign urged consumers and chefs.
Maybe I should buy a bow.
And international regulatory bodies implemented strict harvesting quotas. Today, selling illegally caught Chilean sea bass carries heavy penalties, including massive fines and potential incarceration. While legal, certified, sustainable options exist, much of what was freely available in the 1980s would now result in serious legal consequences for sellers. Sassafras root tea. Throughout the 1980s, sassafras root tea remained a traditional home remedy and beverage, especially in Appalachian and southern communities. People brewed the fragrant, spicy root to make a tea with a distinctive.
Yeah, I remember this on the East Coast, yeah.
It was believed to purify blood.
Quite good. I missed that stuff. Yeah, they used to serve this on the East Coast quite a lot.
Sold dried sassafras roots and bark,
it's
and
good.
herbal medicine books of the era commonly recommended it for various ailments. Some small beverage companies even produced bottled sassafras tea.
She'll need
and root beer
mats.
made with the natural oils from the plant. Now, if you've been enjoying this trip down memory lane through America's forbidden foods, consider supporting us on Patreon.
Yeah, it was
The
really
link is in
good.
the description below. Your membership helps us dig deeper into these fascinating food history stories and bring you more quality content about how our eating habits have changed over the decades. Plus, Patreon members get exclusive content like extended research notes and early access to upcoming videos. Now let's continue exploring these once common foods that would land you in hot water today. The FDA had technically banned sassafras as a food additive in 1976.
You know, I did want to buy another axe, but that's okay. I don't think she really needs one.
However, enforcement was minimal, and traditional uses continued largely unabated throughout the 1980s, especially in rural areas. By the early 1990s, the FDA began enforcing the ban more strictly. requiring that commercial sassafras products be free of saffrole. Today, selling traditional sassafras root tea containing saffrole is illegal. And
What?
only products using
Oh my
saffrole-free
God,
extracts
why?
can be legally sold as food or beverages. Queen Conch. In the 1980s, Queen Conch was a familiar sight on restaurant menus across Florida and the Caribbean rim states. This large sea snail, prized for its firm, white meat, appeared in fritters, chowders, ceviches, and salads throughout coastal America. Seafood markets in Florida openly sold conch meat, and tourists brought back conch shells as souvenirs without restriction. Restaurants specializing in Caribbean cuisine featured conch prominently, and cookbooks of the era commonly included conch recipes with no mention of sustainability concerns. At the time, harvesting was virtually unrestricted in many areas, with commercial and recreational collection occurring year-round. The beautiful spiral shells were also collected for the souvenir trade, further increasing pressure.
Oh no, it's
on
in my
wild
clay chart,
populations.
isn't it?
By the mid-1980s, conch populations had plummeted due to overharvesting. Florida closed its commercial queen conch fishery in 1986,
Ah, yes, inhale.
but
There we go.
enforcement was spotty throughout the decade, and imported conch remained widely available. Today, harvesting queen conch is completely prohibited in Florida waters, and importing queen conch is heavily regulated under the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species, CITES. Violators face significant fines and potential criminal charges. The casual conch consumption that was normal in the 1980s would now result in serious legal consequences for restaurants and sellers. Horse meat. Although never as mainstream as beef or pork, horse meat was legally available in parts of America during the 1980s. Certain butcher shops, particularly in regions with historical ties to cultures that traditionally consumed horse meat, openly sold it as an alternative red meat. Horse meat was praised for its slightly sweet flavor, lean profile, and high protein content. Some specialty cookbooks included recipes for horse steaks or roasts, and a few adventurous restaurants in cosmopolitan cities quietly offered it to customers looking for something different. During economic downturns, horse meat sometimes gained popularity as an affordable alternative to more expensive meats. It was also recommended by some health-conscious cookbooks of the era for its nutritional profile, higher in protein and lower in fat than beef. Public sentiment began shifting dramatically in the late 1980s as animal welfare concerns grew. While there was no federal ban specifically prohibiting horse meat for human consumption, a series of state bans and restrictions on horse slaughterhouses began emerging. The effective nationwide ban came in 2007 when Congress cut funding for USDA inspection of horse slaughterhouses, making it impossible to legally produce horse meat for human consumption. Today, selling horse meat for food is essentially illegal throughout the United States, with violations potentially resulting in significant fines. Absinthe, traditional formula. The mystique of true absinthe captivated many Americans in the 1980s, even though the traditional high Thujone formula had been banned decades earlier. Underground bars, particularly in artistic centers like New York, San Francisco, and New Orleans, sometimes served smuggled bottles of the real thing to those in the know. The distinctive green liquor with its anise flavor was shrouded in legends about its supposed hallucinogenic properties and association with famous artists and writers. Some travelers brought bottles back from Europe, where regulations varied by country, and private parties occasionally featured homemade versions. While technically illegal, enforcement was inconsistent, and many Americans sampled real absinthe without consequences. The ritual of preparation, slowly dripping water over a sugar cube into the liquor, watching it turn cloudy, added to its allure as a forbidden pleasure. The ban stemmed from early 20th century concerns that Thujone, a compound derived from wormwood in traditional absinthe, caused hallucinations and madness. Modern research has shown these fears were exaggerated, but traditional absinthe did contain potentially harmful levels of thujon. Today, selling high thujon traditional absinthe remains illegal.
I
in the
can't do
US,
anything!
Though thujon-regulated versions became legal again in 2007. The original formula that circulated secretly in the 1980s would still result in legal trouble with both the FDA and ATF if sold today. Ortolan bunting. In the 1980s, a tiny songbird called the ortolan bunting represented the height of culinary exclusivity among
Wow, I
America's
full healed.
ultra-wealthy and serious gastronomes. This French delicacy was prepared through a notorious process. The birds were captured, blinded, force-fed, drowned in armagnac, and then roasted whole. Elite French restaurants in New York, Chicago, and San Francisco occasionally offered this dish to their most privileged customers, though it never appeared on printed menus. Private chefs for wealthy families might prepare it for special occasions, and some American gourmands traveling to France specifically sought out this forbidden delicacy. The traditional way of eating
I don't see.
was equally bizarre. Diners would cover their heads with a napkin, supposedly to hide their shame from God, and consume the entire bird, bones and all, except for the beak. France banned the capturing of ortolan in 1999 due to declining populations, but the practice had already become increasingly restricted throughout the 1980s and 1990s. The U.S. Migratory Bird Treaty Act technically prohibited the killing or possession of ortolan, but enforcement against high-end restaurants was virtually non-existent until later years. Today, serving ortolan is strictly illegal in both the United States and France, with serious legal consequences for restaurants or chefs caught doing so. What was once a secret indulgence of the ultra-wealthy is now recognized as cruel and environmentally damaging. Orange ruffy. The distinctive, firm-white flesh of orange ruffy became a seafood sensation in the 1980s. Previously
Remember orange
known by the
ruffy,
less
yeah.
appetizing name slimehead, this deep-sea fish appeared on restaurant menus across America and in the frozen seafood section of every major supermarket. Consumers loved its mild flavor and versatility. Broiled, fried, or grilled, restaurants featured it as their catch of the day, and food magazines published countless orange ruffy recipes. Red Lobster and other seafood chains made it a menu staple throughout the decade. What few people realized was that orange ruffy can live up to 150 years and don't reach reproductive maturity until around age 30. These slow-growing fish simply couldn't withstand the intensive commercial fishing.
Oh, you have to
that
buy
began in the late
pipes?
1970s.
Oh, the
Exploded in
pipes,
1980s.
okay.
By the 1990s,
Okay, well then
orange
let's go
ruffy
back. I didn't
populations
realize.
had plummeted by over 90% in many areas.
And we'll buy like 10 pipes or
International
whatever.
Fishing
Yeah, I probably won't need to. I won't be able to use that many. We'll go back and we'll buy pipes with this stuff that I got.
Entirely to allow populations to recover. Today, selling orange ruffy caught in protected areas or exceeding strict international quotas is illegal, with violations resulting in substantial fines and possible vessel seizure. While legally caught orange ruffy is still available, the unrestricted harvesting that was normal in the 1980s would now trigger serious legal consequences. Fugu, pufferfish. The 1980s saw Japanese cuisine gain mainstream popularity in America, bringing with it a fascination with fugu, the infamous pufferfish containing a deadly neurotoxin with no known antidote. While never widely available, underground fugu dining experiences existed in cities with large Japanese populations like Los Angeles, New York, and San Francisco. The preparation of fugu requires special training.
Ah, why are you hitting the
Safely remove
horse, you
toxic
idiot?
organisms,
Don't hit the
particularly liver and
horse.
ovaries. In Japan, chefs train for years and must be licensed, but in 1980s, America, regulation was spotty at best. Some restaurants illegally imported fugu, while others used legally imported fish, but had chefs without proper certification prepare it. The thrill of eating something potentially lethal made fugu attractive to culinary risk takers and status seekers. A full fugu dinner could cost hundreds of dollars. making it a symbol of luxury and daring. The slight tingling sensation some reported when eating it added to the mystique. The FDA was aware of these practices, but enforcement was inconsistent throughout the decade. As Japanese cuisine became more mainstream, authorities began looking more closely at restaurants
I forgot
serving
things.
potentially dangerous specialties. Today, strict FDA regulations make it illegal to import or serve fugu, unless the restaurant has specially licensed chefs and the fish comes from certified suppliers. The underground fugu dining experiences of the 1980s would now result in restaurant closures, product seizures, and potentially criminal charges. Trans fat-laden margarine. The 1980s represented peak margarine consumption in America. Nearly every refrigerator contained a tub or stick of this butter alternative, which was marketed as the healthier choice based on its lower saturated fat content. What nobody talked about was that most margarines contain dangerous levels of artificial trans fats. Food manufacturers created these trans fats through hydrogenation, which turned liquid vegetable oils into semi-solid fats with a longer shelf life. The result was a spreadable product that cost less than butter and didn't spoil as quickly. It became a kitchen staple for cooking, baking, and spreading on toast. Health authorities actually recommended margarine over butter throughout the 1980s with the American Heart Association, and many doctors specifically advising consumers to make the switch. Television commercials highlighted how margarine was heart healthy compared to butter. It wasn't until the 1990s that research began linking trans fats to increased heart disease risk, findings that would eventually reveal they were actually far worse than the saturated fats they replaced. Trans fats not only raised bad LDL cholesterol, but also lowered good HDL cholesterol. In 2015, the FDA determined that artificial trans fats were not generally recognized as safe and gave manufacturers 3 years to remove them from food products. Today, selling foods containing artificial trans fats above minimal levels is prohibited in the United States. The margarine that health experts recommended in the 1980s would now be illegal to produce or sell. Unpasteurized soft cheeses. The gourmet cheese boom of the 1980s introduced Americans to a world beyond processed cheese slices. Suddenly, authentic French Brie, Camembert, and other soft-ripened cheeses became must-haves for sophisticated dinner parties and upscale restaurant cheese plates. Many of these imported soft cheeses were made with unpasteurized milk, following centuries-old European traditions. Cheese shops and specialty food stores openly sold these raw milk varieties, touting their complex flavors and authentic character. Food magazines published articles explaining how to serve them properly and which wines to pair them with. At the time, FDA regulations regarding unpasteurized cheese imports were either loosely enforced or contained loopholes that importers exploited. There was also a thriving grey market for bringing these cheeses into the country through personal luggage or informal channels. Following several listeriosis outbreaks linked to unpasteurized dairy products, the FDA began enforcing a long-standing but previously overlooked regulation requiring all cheese made from unpasteurized milk to be aged at least 60 days before sale. This effectively banned traditional soft-ripened cheeses, which are typically aged for shorter periods. Today, selling authentic unpasteurized versions of soft cheeses like traditional Brie, Camembert, Saint-André, and many others is illegal unless they meet the 60-day aging requirement, which would transform their typical texture and flavor. The European Cheese Board that sophisticated hosts served in the 1980s would now potentially result in product seizures and penalties for importers and sellers. Shark fin soup. Throughout the 1980s,
Shark fin soup
remained a symbol of prosperity and honor at Chinese-American weddings.
There was a side-scrolling sort of crappy isometric sandbox game called Shark Fin Soup that actually did kind of like. I thought it was a good little rogue.
And mushrooms.
Played it on the
High-end
PlayStation.
Chinese
I thought it was good enough
restaurants
to
in cities
buy.
like San Francisco, New York, and Los Angeles regularly offered shark fin soup, sometimes charging over $100 per bowl. Specialty markets in Chinatowns across America openly sold dried shark fins for home preparation of this prestigious dish. The harvesting method, known as shark finning, involved catching sharks, cutting off their fins, and then throwing the often still living animals back into the ocean to die, a practice few Americans were aware of at the time. There were no regulations against shark finning in US waters until 1993. As awareness of the ecological impact grew in the 1990s and 2000s, shark fin soup became increasingly controversial. Scientists warned that shark populations were collapsing due to the fin trade, with some species declining by more than 90%. Today, selling or distributing shark fins is completely illegal in 14 US states, including California, New York, and Texas, which have large Chinese American populations. The Shark Fin Sales Elimination Act, passed in 2019, made the buying and selling of shark fins illegal in the United States. The once prestigious dish, served at countless celebrations in the 1980s, would now result in significant fines and legal penalties for restaurants or markets selling it. Red dye number 2. The vibrant red color in many favorite foods of the 1980s often came from artificial colorings, including various red dyes that remained in use despite growing safety concerns. While red dye number 2 had been banned in 1976 after studies linked it to cancer, similar red colorings continued to be widely used in food products. Everything from candies and popsicles to breakfast cereals and fruit punches got their bright red color from synthetic dyes. Parents thought nothing of it when their kids' tongues turned bright red from candy, or when their fruit punch left colorful stains on clothing. School cafeterias served red-colored foods and drinks. Birthday parties featured vividly colored treats, and red food dye was a staple ingredient in home baking.
Yeah, I remember
Bright
that.
colors were seen as fun and appealing, especially for children's products. Many imported foods continued using red dye number. Too well into the 1980s, as enforcement at ports of entry was inconsistent. Other red dyes with similar chemical structures remained approved despite mounting evidence of potential health risks, particularly hyperactivity in children. Today, using the original red dye number 2 in food products is completely illegal in the United States, and even other artificial red colorings face stricter regulation and must carry warning labels in some jurisdictions. The brightly colored foods that were in practically every kid's lunchbox in the 1980s would now potentially violate food safety regulations in their original formulations. Bushmeat. In the 1980s, a small but significant trade in African bushmeat existed in certain American cities, with large immigrant populations from West and Central Africa. This umbrella term refers to wild animals hunted for food in African forests, including various species of primates, rodents, antelope, and other wildlife. Specialized markets in cities like New York, Washington, D.C., and Atlanta sometimes discreetly sold bushmeat to customers from countries where it was a traditional food. It would arrive through informal
I'll need to make
channels,
horse
often
armor.
disguised as other meat products or brought in personal luggage. Community celebrations and cultural events occasionally featured these traditional foods. Most Americans were unaware of this underground trade, but for some immigrant communities, these foods represented an important cultural connection to their homelands. The health risks associated with consuming potentially disease-carrying wildlife weren't widely understood at the time. Everything changed after several Ebola outbreaks in Africa were linked to bushmeat consumption. The HIV/AIDS crisis also raised awareness about zoonotic diseases, those that can jump from animals to humans. Scientists identified bushmeat as a potential vector for various dangerous pathogens. Today, importing virtually all forms of bushmeat is strictly prohibited under multiple US laws, including the Lacey Act and various endangered species protections. Enforcement at ports of entry has intensified dramatically, with heavy fines and potential prison sentences for smugglers. What was once a quiet cultural practice in certain immigrant communities during the 1980s now carries serious legal consequences. Unpasteurized fruit juices. Fresh squeezed, unpasteurized fruit juices were considered the healthiest option throughout the 1980s.
I didn't bring enough
Health
gold.
food stores and even some supermarkets proudly advertised their juices as fresh squeezed and raw, highlighting that they hadn't undergone heat pasteurization that might destroy nutrients. Orange juice squeezed to order at breakfast restaurants, apple cider from local orchards, and fresh carrot juice from health food stores were all commonly consumed without pasteurization. Many people bought juices for home use, making their own raw juices as part of the health food movement. No warning labels were required, and consumers generally believed that unpasteurized juices were nutritionally superior to their processed counterparts. What few people considered were the potential microbial risks from juice pressed from unwashed or contaminated fruits and vegetables. A series of illness outbreaks in the 1990s, including a 1996 E. coli outbreak linked to unpasteurized apple juice that killed one child and sickened dozens, changed everything. The FDA subsequently required warning labels on unpasteurized juices and eventually mandated pasteurization or equivalent antimicrobial treatment for most commercial juices. Today, selling unpasteurized juice products without prominent warning labels about potential health risks is illegal, and interstate sale of unpasteurized juices is heavily regulated. Juice bars and retailers must either pasteurize their products or include clear warnings that would have been unthinkable in the health-conscious 1980s. Potassium bromate in bread. Throughout the 1980s, one of the most common ingredients in commercial bread was completely invisible to consumers but present in nearly every loaf on supermarket shelves. Potassium bromate was used as a flour treatment and dough conditioner that strengthened gluten and promoted higher, more uniform rising. Major bread manufacturers relied on this additive to produce the perfectly shaped, fluffy loaves Americans preferred. Fast food, hamburger buns, hot dog rolls, and even healthy whole wheat bread commonly contain potassium bromate, listed inconspicuously among other ingredients on the label. Bakeries loved it because it made dough easier to handle mechanically and resulted in consistent product. It was particularly valuable for mass production, where uniform results were essential. Home baking cookbooks sometimes even recommended bromate-treated flour for better results. However, research emerged linking potassium bromate to cancer in laboratory animals. While the baking process was supposed to convert the bromate to harmless bromide, studies showed that residual amounts often remained in finished products, especially if they were undercooked. By the early 1990s, many countries, including the United Kingdom, Canada, and the entire European Union, banned potassium bromate in food products. California later required warning labels on products containing it. Today, while the FDA has completely banned potassium bromate, most major bread manufacturers have voluntarily phased it out due to consumer pressure and the need to sell globally. The ubiquitous bread ingredient of the 1980s would now trigger warning labels in some states and couldn't be sold in many international markets. Ephedra in dietary supplements. The 1980s fitness boom created an enormous market for supplements promising enhanced energy, weight loss, and athletic performance. One of the most popular ingredients in these products was ephedra, derived from the Chinese herb ma huang, which contains powerful stimulants called ephedrine alkaloids. Health food stores, gyms, and even some pharmacies sold ephedra-containing supplements under various brand names. These products were marketed for weight loss, increased energy, and improved athletic performance, becoming particularly popular among bodybuilders and those.
You can't really see her. She'll defend the horse.
Magazines like
Oh, I don't know.
Fitness
We both need this credit.
advertisements for ephedra supplements, and fitness instructors often recommended them to clients looking for an extra edge. Since they were classified as dietary supplements rather than drugs, they escaped the strict FDA oversight of pharmaceuticals. In the 1990s, serious side effects, including heart attacks, strokes, and even to ephedra or national authorities. In 2004, the FDA banned ephedra-containing dietary supplements nationwide. Today, selling supplements containing ephedra is illegal in the United States, with violations potentially resulting in product seizures and significant penalties.
Where'd he go? No, he ran. That fucking asshole. How did he ran? I didn't take that long.
Lid-glazed pottery for food. Colourful, handcrafted ceramic dishes and cookware were popular in 1980s American kitchens, with Mexican, Italian, and Spanish pottery particularly prized for their vibrant colours and artisanal quality. Many homes displayed these pieces proudly and used them for serving or cooking food. Import shops, department stores, and tourist destinations sold these decorative but functional pieces. Bright yellow, orange, red, and blue glazes were especially popular, adding a touch of international flair to American dining tables. Some people even collected these pieces during vacations abroad. What most consumers didn't realize was that many of these traditional ceramics were fired with lead-based glazes, particularly those from countries with less stringent manufacturing regulations. The lead could leach into food, especially acidic items like tomato sauce, citrus juices, or vinegar-based dressings. As awareness of lead poisoning increased in the late 1980s and early 1990s, the FDA began testing imported ceramics more rigorously and establishing stricter limits for lead leaching. Some states, like California, implemented their own testing programs and warning requirements. Today, selling ceramic foodware that leaches lead above very low established limits is illegal in the United States. Products must either be certified lead-free or carry prominent warning labels stating they're for decorative use only. The colourful foreign pottery that Americans casually ate from in the 1980s would now potentially trigger import.
So I have to do 50 of these.
And significant penalties for sellers. Wild foraged mushrooms. During the 1980s, the emergence of gourmet cuisine in America created a market for wild mushrooms like morels, chanterelles, and porcini. Restaurants proudly listed wild harvested mushrooms on their menus, and a subculture of mushroom foragers supplied these establishments through informal
Where'd this other one
networks.
go?
There were few regulations governing the sale of wild foraged mushrooms. Farmers markets, roadside stands, and even some specialty grocers would sell whatever local foragers brought in, often on their location, the seller's expertise, and the mushroom's identity. The books of the era encouraged readers to try foraging themselves, sometimes with sufficient warnings about look-alike toxic chemicals. Weekend mushroom hunting became a hobby for adventurers and enthusiasts, and mushroom festivals celebrated the harvest with minimal oversight. As gourmet mushrooms gained popularity, cases of mushroom poisoning increased, with some resulting in liver failure or death when toxic species were misidentified. Health departments began taking notice of the unregulated trade in wild fungi. Today, selling wild foraged mushrooms is strictly regulated in most states, requiring either certification of foragers, inspection by trained mycologists, or limiting sales to specific, easily identified species deemed safe. Commercial sale of certain wild mushroom species is completely prohibited in some jurisdictions. The wild mushroom marketplace of the 1980s would now potentially violate food safety regulations in many states. Caffeinated alcoholic beverages.
Got him!
Saw the rise of wine coolers and other sweet.
Maybe I have to get the other one up.
Targeted at younger drinkers.
Get the other one up before she gets knocked.
Became household names, and some manufacturers began experimenting with
Killed him.
stimulants like caffeine to counter alcohol's depressant effects. These early caffeinated alcoholic drinks flew under the regulatory radar, often marketed as sophisticated alternatives to beer. The combination promised to keep parties energetic while still enjoying alcohol's relaxing effects. Essentially, selling the ability to drink more without feeling as intoxicated. Bars sometimes created their own concoctions, mixing energy drinks with spirits years before commercial versions hit the market. The dangerous practice of mixing vodka with then new energy drinks began appearing in trendy nightclubs by the late 1980s.
I killed him.
Scientists later discovered that
This was like my first real PvP kill.
hazardous situation. Caffeine masked the feeling of intoxication without reducing actual impairment, leading people to drink far more than they normally would and take risks they might otherwise avoid. The issue came to a head in the 2000s with products like Four Loko, but the precedent was set decades earlier. Today, selling pre-mixed beverages containing both alcohol and significant amounts of caffeine is effectively prohibited by the FDA, which determines that such combinations are inherently unsafe. The caffeinated alcoholic beverages that began appearing in the 1980s would now be illegal to market and sell. Lead-soldered food cans. Throughout the 1980s, many canned
Now I lit
food
myself up to the server, but it doesn't matter. I got what I
using
wanted here for now.
a method that has been standard practice.
I'll come back later. I got what I wanted here. Now I can't stay here. You'll be coming back immediately. I gotta get out of here.
Everything from canned vegetables and fruits to soups and condensed milk potentially contain this lead solder.
I killed that mage. I killed him. Fuck yeah.
And which didn't, as it wasn't disclosed on packaging. Lead soldering was particularly common in imported canned goods. The risk was greatest with acidic foods like tomatoes, citrus fruits, and some vegetables, which could cause the lead to leach into the food. Cans that sat on shelves for extended periods posed higher risks, as more lead could migrate into the contents over time. As evidence of lead's neurotoxic effects.
Got his shit. Yeah. This guy had 2 medium bags for some reason. I wonder if there's stuff in them. We'll have to see.
Many US manufacturers were voluntarily
Came in and ganked me right, tried to gank me right the fuck away.
Alternative materials. In 1995, the FDA officially banned lead-soldered food cans in the United States. Today, importing or selling food in lead-soldered cans is prohibited, with violations potentially resulting in product seizures and penalties. The canned goods that lined pantry shelves in the 1980s would now be considered too dangerous for consumption if manufactured using the same methods. Cyclamate sweeteners. In the diet-obsessed 1980s, artificial sweeteners were immensely popular as Americans sought to reduce sugar consumption while still satisfying.
I think these bags are full of mage things, and I think he's really mad at me. I've got to get out of here. I'm gonna black my screen here for just a second, guys. Sorry. Just gonna put it on the big face, you know.
Canada, where the sweetener remained legal.
You can see my beautiful face for just a minute. I'm just gonna take it off my face, you know. I'm sorry. I don't really want to show him where I live. I don't want to show him where I live. I'm just gonna log inside. He'll never know.
In the United States since 1969.
Bear with me, guys. I'm sorry. I've got to log these clients. Take me just a second.
However, many scientists questioned these findings, arguing that the doses used.
Come in here, horse. No, come here,
than any human would consume. The controversy continued throughout the 1980s, with the manufacturer repeatedly petitioning for cyclamate's reinstatement. Meanwhile, over 50 countries, including Canada, Australia, and much of Europe, continued to permit cyclamate in food products, considering it safe at typical consumption levels. This created an unusual situation where a substance prohibited in the US was widely used just across the border. Today, selling food or beverages containing cyclamate remains illegal in the United States, with violations potentially resulting in product seizures and penalties. Despite ongoing scientific debate about potential health risks,
I killed him. It was a good kill. It was such a good kill. It was such a good way to end the night. I'm getting kills on mortal now. When they can't headshot me, it might be trouble for them. That mage, what could he do? It was over for him. I just poked him. It was just over. It was hilarious. Yes. Fucking slaughtered him. Let's see what he had. I'm gonna yeah, I can pause it. I think it's safe now. The door's closed. Yeah, door's closed. He'll never know where I live. Even if he stream snipes, he'll never know where I live. He'll never know. Look, it doesn't matter if they stream snipe sometimes. I can even block it. Hold on, let me turn off the even if they stream snipe me, Like, it doesn't matter. I don't, like it doesn't matter. I'm gonna log and he'll have to come back in 12 hours or whatever. I don't know. If they stream snipe me, I'll leave the game. Honestly, that's how I feel. But yeah, yeah, look, he had 2 medium bags. I was very curious about that. Medium bag. Yeah, but what's in it? Oh, look! He had mats. There weren't many. Yes, they were. He had, oh my god, he had 900 calamine. Look, my mage is gonna be happy. I have a mage. Look, guys, it's my first PvP kill. It looks my first. No, this is not my first real PvP kill at all. I've gotten like 50 or something like that. But it's my first one where it was like a, I wouldn't say fair fight, but yeah, like a 1v1 where it wasn't stacked against me. It was like a 1v1 where the guy fought and he lost and he was on the wrong target and, you know, he thought he would just fuck the AFK guy, and no, I came back, stabbed him in his fucking mage ass, you know. And I was like, go ahead and knock that fucking character. You go right ahead. You go right ahead. You go ahead and knock that character while I stab you in the fucking back, bitch. You go right ahead. This was quite exhilarating. I like Mortal PvP. I wondered if I might see something like this if I went to Rats. It's why I got all geared up. I got all geared up, didn't I? I spent like 20 minutes doing it, didn't I? I like got geared up. I fucking, like, I came at him fast. I used the fucking lifesteal. I started stabbing him. I was like, no way you're getting these spells up before I 3-shot you, bitch. And you're not running from me either. I'm Thurser. Yeah, but I came slamming in, like, bam, 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 bam. 4 hits with the spear. You're fucking fucked. I'll put 4 holes in you, bitch. You watched it. It's why I rolled this character. It's why I'm so good at this. It's why it's like I think like these guys, they've just been like getting these like AFK kills and like I think discounting me or whatever. But no, if you give me a real 1v1 without the bullshit headshots that just erase me or whatever before I can even respond or whatever, I think I win most engagements or whatever. We'll see. It really feels a lot like motherfucking Dark and Darker. I baited him with my other character. He's probably so mad. He's like, fuck, I was on the wrong character. Well, yeah, but I mean, like, I don't know. We can all do this. We can all roll with 2 characters. I'm sorry if it's, like, new to you or whatever. Skycat lived, bitch. Skycat lived. Skycat lived up to the name. Skycat lived up to the name. Skycat lived, right? They come after the AFK one, I'm gonna fucking stab them, right? It's a whole bait thing. If they see her by the horse, if I leave her by the horse and I hide her in the fucking, like, that mage came slinking up like to look at the horse and shoot the horse, and I'm like, no, don't nuke the horse yet. If I was the mage, I would have just bombed the horse, because then what can they do? They've got to fight you 1v1 as a mage versus a target. Maybe you don't kill them before they come stab you, but that's, to me, is a better example. I don't know why he didn't bomb my... He should have just bombed my horse. I'm surprised the horse... Look, the horse was untouched, which to me seems sort of noob. Before I go for the kill on the dwarf, right? Look, I'm gonna come stare the other character in the face like it's a fucking multiplayer game. It's not really a multiplayer game anymore. Not enough people play. like I'll be my own multiplayer, you know what I'm saying? The only people that I trust are me. Look, I was half AFK in that fight, and I did buy some hits while he was distracted. But I mean, he came in while I was AFK. I mean, I don't know, he had the advantage too. He could have bombed the horse, which would have fucked me. You know how bad that would have been? Then I would have been walking back, right, with these 2 guys, which would have fucked me. He played it wrong, and you can see it tactically. He can learn from the fight. He could have fucked me. He could have just lit the horse up from far away. That's what I would have done. I would have just been like, nah, I'm not letting him leave on the horse. Fuck that. The horse dies first, and if he hears me kill the horse, then so be it. I'm a mage dealing with a target from far away. That's the ideal, right? So you bomb the horse from far away. You don't go walking up to the guy. I think I probably scared the shit out of him. When he realized realized that I was standing there in the buttocks of this fucking hat, like this saddle. I outplayed him in a lot of different ways. She was like hidden in the saddle, so he probably was like walking up to the horse to see if somebody was actually here, and then he was like, oh shit, there's a dwarf here and he's AFK, kill him. So he went, he's like, wait, he's AFK, all I have to do, he doesn't know I'm here yet, so what do I do? Do I kill the horse? Do I kill him? I'm gonna kill him, he's the bigger threat, right? The guy probably thought about it. I can I can do the thought process right here. I probably do the same thing. I'm like, what's the real threat here? Is it the horse or the dude with the giant axe? It's the dude with the giant axe in Full Metal. We got to get him off the board, and I do see why he did what he did, but it's unfortunate for him because that just left his back open for me to stab him in it with my Thursar Clave 15 Thursar fucking Cuprin Rysar spear with 45 damage and shit, and all my cooldowns, adrenaline, battle cry, lifesteal. I screamed in his face. Like as I stabbed him in the back, I stabbed him in the back really well. I got a good back stab on him, which scared the shit out of him. He was like, what? There goes 40% of my bar, no. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna stab you real bad. And he ran for it and shit. He ran for it. And I was like, nope, oh no, he's gonna cast on me. So I went 5, 4, 3, bam, bam. And that's all it takes. It's like I hit 5, 4, 3, bam, bam. Do you see it? 5 is adrenaline. 4 is battle cry. 3 is lifesteal. I went 5, 4, 3, bam, 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 dead. And here's his loot. His set is on the horse. He had a Horn Mage set. That might be worth a lot. It's a set for my other character, though. I have a mage, too. I have a mage like him, too. Good fight. It was a good fight. I think on his side, I said it was a good fight. He fought well. You know, he fought well. Good fight, friend. Good fight. Friday night, Saturday morning, maybe we're both drunk North Americans or whatever. Maybe he's European. We don't know. Maybe he's fucking Russian or Chinese. We really don't know. Whatever you are, if you were stream sniping me, I get that. I would want to stream snipe me too if you somehow grokked that this was a streamer. Skycat lived because I am in Full Metal, and it took him a while. He was like, fuck, I can't really kill this guy, and on top of it, I might do this in his face. Don't hit me. No, don't hit me with the spear. Don't hit me with the spear. The spear, I could have Ogmere piped in him. In the future, I'll alt tab to the character and I'll pipe the character to make him think that they're gonna get it, and then I just run in and stab in the back, and I use the other character like bait at the horse, and I come in from the fight. I'll come in with PV targets trailing after me. I don't care. I'll fucking stab them as they try and kill them, or vice versa. When they turn to fight me, I'm gonna switch to the other one, right? I fight them. Say they win, that's okay. I fucking wipe the fucking floor. I mean, it's not okay. Whoever has the horse, I should maybe have her own the horse and have her drive all the time, because she can't ever leave on the horse. This character is the one with 15 clade who's likely to actually get the kill, you know? This character doesn't have any clade, like at all. She's level 5. Man, that felt good. That felt good like Rust, but I fucking earned it. I came in fast. I did not hesitate. Tonight on the stream, in the last few minutes, I'll come back and I'll replay the before, it'll give people a reason to stay after I stop the video. But I'm gonna stop recording the video. But after that, for like just 10 seconds after the stream, or for like 45 seconds after the stream, which is happening here, I'm gonna stop this stream here. So yeah, we're in a good place. Fucking log out. Yeah, 10 seconds for her, but it's fucking. Oh no, it's 10 seconds for me too. It's a safe spot, huh? Oh, this is considered safe for me too. Yeah, I think it is, because I'm like keyed into the house. I have a lock. I'm like in a homie's house or whatever, and I can log safely. Oh look, it's a good game. Yeah, I got a really good PvP kill full of mage kill. I got to remember that all that stuff's on the horse and take it off the horse. He killed that mage. That guy's probably so mad. He probably has so much more hours than me. Like that guy was probably so mad at me. A mage, like that guy's probably so mad at me. Kind of, he wasn't mad at me, but he was just but yeah, he was just like, what? Well, yeah, he kind of got played by the terrible like dual box thing. But I mean, Hemrick allowed dual boxing. Maybe it's one of the things keeping the game. Like, I've been dual boxing Eve. I mean, tomorrow, or no, I mean not tomorrow. I'm not gonna do that today because this character can't fly yet, but she'll be able to fly soon. I should take her home and put her in the +5s, I guess. You know, I think I probably will do that because she doesn't have any Augs in right now, right? Oh, I will also, yeah, I'm gonna pop her in real quick before I log. That was so good. I totally slaughtered that vet. I fucking slaughtered him. I came at him, and it was, like, decisive, too. He got nothing at all. He got nothing at all. Shut him out. I shut him out. I shut him out. I shut him out. It felt so good. This game, I favor it. It has nothing to do with the block system that they do. It has to do with, like, ins and outs. It bobs and weaves. What you train for, what you know, what you can do. I like it. It's a good game. It might favor me. Mortal speaks to me more than Rust does, which is kind of annoying. Like this simple house that they gave me in Mortal. Oh, good. They finally refunded me. Okay, good. Thank you. So this character, she'll not fly. It's okay. She's got time. She's got to train. Thank you. Refund now. I bully customer service. It's kind of annoying, but I mean, like, I just, like, was like, oh, I'm sorry. I was courteous, but by the 7th email, I'm like, no, just refund. What are you not understanding? Fucking refund, just refund it. Yeah, I can't pay you $160 this month, no. I'll pay you $80 for my main, but I'm not doing that. This was so good. This was so good, shutting him out and logging in my base. Yeah, it felt like Rust. I'm like, nope, I'm going to bed, and you can't raid me because you don't know where I live. 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 I got a jar of dirt. I got a jar of dirt. Savvy. It's good to get a real good PvP kill like that. That guy was probably not happy. He was like, no, I had so much calamine. You did. You had so much calamine. It seemed wasteful, kind of. It was like, oh, God, I don't even know how much money that is. How much in calamine is that? Oh, well, it's mine now. It's going to stay in my base forever until they raid me or whatever. If I keep robbing people like this, but no, I'm just going to say good fight with an exclamation mark. Like, good fight. It was a good fight. I fought him fair and square. I pulled out the spear and put it in him. It's phrasing, but yes, I pulled out the spear and I stabbed him in the back. Fuck him. Phrasing. But whatever, like, you know, like, I don't know. He ran for me. Where are you going to run? The meadow? You're a mage. You can't run anywhere. You should have turned and started casting on me. You know better than to run. Where are you going to run? There's a meadow. There's nothing but you and spear in the back. It's more cowbell, except instead of cowbell, it's more spear. If you run, it's more spear in the back. I would rather just turn. If I was the mage, I'd be like, well, it's over now. I'm going to turn, and I'm going to cast a fireball in this motherfucker's face and force him to stop me. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm doing. I'm turning. I'm like, well, I'm a mage, and it turns out that yes, some guy with a spear pretty much makes short work of a mage most times. You know what I'm saying? Like, right quick. You got about 3 to 5 hits, something, and that's not much for a melee dude who's used to swinging like 45 times on a boss or whatever. Like 2 to 5 melee hits for some of these classes is not much. I like laughing at that mage because it's like, yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah, that like I was a counter to who you were. You were not going to get any spells up before I stabbed you to death really quick. I had the full Thursar range of buffs running, just shuck. And I played too much New World where I don't trust a mage to go free at all. I'm just on him like shuck. Just die. Just die. Because if you let him go at all, you're just dead. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. You go bite the ground. You know, goodbye, boom, 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 goodbye now. So speaking of boom, boom, goodbye now, I'm going to bed. I love you guys. It's been a wonderful night. It was good to finish on some deserved PvP that didn't have 2 shitheads. It was just one dude versus one dude, you know. Well, one dude and 2 alts, you know, or whatever you want to call it. One dude, one dual box. You know, and that is kind of, I would say, fair in some ways. He had a pretty fair shot at wasting my first character before it even started. He came pretty close to it. He had a fair shot at it. When he ran, I should have tabbed to my other character and popped the pipe and sat down so that I'm full ready to fight him on the other character when he loses to this one. And so then the other one's full healed, and I come at him with a full charged axe. And at that point, he's got to flee. He might loot one character, but he won't get both. Then I've got to defend the horse. At some point, I've got to remember it. I guess I've got to leave her as the driver and just leave her on the horse. But then he probably would have just nuked the horse. If I had done that, he probably, if I was sitting on the horse, he might have just nuked the horse. It's hard to say. But in any event, all these games are going down. Love you guys. Night, y'all. Okay. Going to bed. And, and then, yep. And then, good, we're out of here. All the mortals are logged. The Final Fantasy is logged. Okay, we're going to bed now. I'm going to bed. Love you guys. You have a wonderful night. I am Skycatlive. I'm a full-time variety gamer all day, every day. Put me on in the background. If you're watching on the stream, you get a bonus. You get a bonus round tonight. If you're watching on the stream, which I doubt you are, but if you are watching on the stream, let's see. No, but nobody's watching on the stream. That's okay. I don't care. You know, whatever. If you're watching on the stream and I can't see you for some reason, you know, stick around because we're going to do a bonus session here at the end of this session, and we're going to replay that PvP kill like 5 times. I want to see how I played it, because I think I played it pretty fucking well. I didn't hesitate and I got the kill the way I should have. So anyways, so stick around if you're on the stream. There's a bonus round for about 2 minutes afterwards here. Bonus credit after class, guys. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for your time. Got a good PvP kill at the end there. I am Skycatlive. I'm a full-time variety gamer all day, every day. I validate myself over 1 kill because that's all I ever get. Put me on in the background. Click on the cat. I'm kidding. I'm bloodthirsty. Click on the cat's face to donate. Come to the Twitch or the YouTube. Or give me a like, sub, or a follow. I guess that's it. That's all I have for you. I love you guys. Just a reminder, I have thousands of videos on my channel. This is reflected here. I am showing you now. As you can see, I have some problems getting hits lately, but I think a lot of my stalkers have kind of like given up, which is kind of cool. So a lot of the hits that I was like counting on will dry up as the stalkers give up and realize that they lost the war. You know, the viewership goes down, and that's totally fine. I will rebuild from the ground up. At some point, I'll put the chat back on, but I don't know. You know, I don't know when that'll be. It could be years. I really don't know. So, but you know, in the meantime, I won all of it. I still win. I won all of it. Every last bit of it. I won it all. I'm the winner here. That's the takeaway. I'm the winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner, Skycat Live. There's the proof if you can't tell.
Hi.
Hey, we so happy. Yeah. So I'm just going to give myself light because nobody else is going to. And I love you guys. Thank you so much. I will see you tomorrow morning here in exactly 7 hours and 30 minutes, which is going to be about 10:30 my time, PST. It's 3 a.m. right now. I'm going to go to bed and take some sleeping pills and just wipe out. And I love you guys. I'm going to wake up groggy and I'm going to caffeinate. I'm going to do an EVOP when I'm all groggy, and it's going to be funny. And I love you guys. Thank you so much for your time. You are wonderful, wonderful people. What else was I going to say? That's it. So stay for extra credit after class. Watch me kick this guy's ass like 2 or 3 times and do an appraisal of my performance here, because it's all there on the video, and I'm gonna watch it before I put it up. So yes, I guess I can just watch it. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna put it up right now. But so anyways, I love you guys. I'm gonna stop this video here.